When you take him, it's got to be like immediate so you can kind of ride him. You know, he can't like drag you every stride. Right. So a little gap there so you can help his feet here. It's big enough oxygen.
Yeah, you want me to do a test? You want to check my levels? Here with skeleton. Sound good? Okay. Okay. Katie Stazak here. Welcome to the 2016 American Gold Cup. We are just about to get underway with the Grand Prix qualifier, and I have a pair of Olympic gold medalists with me. So privileged to have Laura Kraut and Nick Skelton here. Laura, of course, a gold medalist in 2008 with Cedric, and Nick Skelton, of course, the most recent individual gold medalist at the Rio Olympic Games with Big Star. Thank you both so much for being here. Nick, I'm sure it's been a bit of a whirlwind for you, but how have things been since your big win in Rio?
Very hectic, actually. Haven't really had a lot of time to do anything ourselves, but yeah, been very busy doing media things and TV things, and then coming here was a nice break, actually.
You've been nominated for BBC Sports Personality of the Year. You had campaigns. I think you were on a game show or two. What has it all been like?
Yeah, like I say, it's been a bit of a whirlwind, really. But that comes up in December, so there's a long time before that at the moment. But yeah, we've got shows to do next week in Barcelona, and Big Star's jumping there. So we'll be going back on Sunday after here.
Great. And Laura, you were an alternate at Rio with Ceremony, and you were able to watch Nick and be there. What was the whole experience like for you watching him and also watching Team USA rally down a rider to come out with a team silver medal?
Well, it was great. I mean, it was. I was fortunate to be there even as a reserve, so that I could be there with Nick. But also, it was great because I could wear my U.S. cap for the Nations Cup, which was fun, and I was really excited and proud of them for the result they had. And then when the individual came around, I was definitely rooting for our individuals, but I was hoping for gold for him and then silver and bronze for them. So it worked out great.
I would say worked out pretty well. Now, how is Ceremony doing, and what are your plans for her?
She's great. She's on her way to Barcelona for next week, so she'll jump the Nations Cup finals there, and she's jumped a few competitions since and been really good, so I've got high expectations for her.
So you're riding today, and you're riding Kung Fu. Tell me a little bit about this horse.
He's great. He's a young 9-year-old. I got him in the middle of the winter, and I've just been sort of bringing him along, and this will be one of his first really big tests, I think, if I qualify. We have to qualify today. But he's been wonderful. He jumped in Brussels a couple weeks ago, a very big class there, and was double clear in fourth. And he's beautiful. He's got a great personality. He's a trier. So I've not jumped him on an up and down field like this. So we'll see how it works.
You had a great round yesterday in the welcome. Nice clear over the jumps. What do you think of the course today?
It'll be tricky. Alan Way, the course builder, he's fantastic. He builds here every year, so he knows the field well, and he uses the hills, to his advantage. I think the fences aren't necessarily huge, but he puts, the tall verticals going uphill, which makes them even taller, and some of the big ox are straight downhill off a deep distance. So I think it's a nice size course, but it'll ride harder than it looks.
Typical of an Alan Wade course. Always seems to happen that way. Parts don't look as hard, and they end up being real bogey elements within the course. So best of luck to you today. Nick, how is Big Star doing, and what are your plans with him? I know you say you're going to Barcelona.
Yeah, he's in good form after Rio. He came back, had a week off that was easy for him, and then back to work. He's jumping next week in Barcelona, and then we'll see. Wherever the next show is going to be, we'll figure it out. I do it week. Yeah, Toronto in November. and then probably Madrid and Geneva would be the finish for him for the year, and then look forward to what we're going to do next year.
Well, congratulations to you both. Such an honor to have you here. Thank you so much for your time. Laura, good luck today, and good luck to you, Nick, and Big Star coming up ahead. That's going to do it for our pregame show here at the American Gold Cup. We have 77 competitors, including Laura, set to take the field for our American Gold Cup qualifier. The big prize is going to be on Sunday in a World Cup qualifier class. Big stakes and a great class ahead. Tune back in just a few minutes. The start for this class, 2 o'clock p.m. Katie Stazak here. Thanks for watching.
It is the Stars and Stripes just up on top of the hill behind the trees there. That's fence one, getting them underway. Lots of tough questions, few turns and stuff in between the start line and the finish line, but you do finish over the Longines upright, the water tray sitting underneath, making it a Liverpool, and that track has been measured at 470 metres, and they're looking to travel at about 400 metres a minute consistently, and that means the time allowed sets at 71 seconds. It is a competition with a single jump off, so any equality, any ties for first place after the first round will take us to a single jump off against the clock, where time breaks all ties. A couple of new fences when we get to the jump off. We'll have a little look at them later. But all importantly, it is the top 40 1-horsepower rider, of course, qualifying for the Longines FEI World Cup qualifier, forming the American Gold Cup Championship this Sunday here at Old Salem Farm. So, final couple of minutes to complete walking the track for those that aren't still out there, and then we'll get underway with the American Gold Cup qualifier here at Old Salem Farm.
Don't forget that you can sign up for the Just World Clear the Jump competition. Each time the Just World Jump is successfully cleared, you pledge to make a donation to help support Just World programs around the world. You can sign up by visiting any of the Just World ambassadors that are around the grounds. They are also hanging out down near the hospitality area, the VIP club, and have a table as well. So they'll be roaming around in the stands, and you can, again, pledge the Clear the Jump contest. Every time the Just World fence, that's fence number 2, is successfully cleared, a donation will be made to help support Just World programs around the world.
NASCAR competition. It is Friday afternoon, and we have 77 riders lined up. They are about to tackle this meter 60 track designed by Alan Wade of Ireland. And this is an important competition. There are 77 riders, but only 40 will qualify for the featured event this week, and that is the World Cup qualifier for the American Gold Cup, set to take place Sunday afternoon. Riders can enter up to 2 horses in this particular competition today, but they have to already have declared the horse that they will ride on Sunday should they qualify for that World Cup qualifier. So that particular horse, should they be riding more than one, they will have to ride first today. So that's the format you will see. Again, 77 lined up, and we have quite a field, including numerous riders returning from the Rio Olympic Games this summer. That includes 4 of the 5 riders that participated for Team USA. That, of course, would be McLean Ward, Beezy Madden, Kent Farrington, who was 5th individually at Rio for the United States. And we have our team alternate from the United States, and that would be Laura Kraut. Again, we are just getting ready to get underway here. Competition is going to start at 2 p.m. sharp.
In our competition today, the president of our grand jury, Lloyd Longines. Our foreign judge, again from Canada, is Mr. John Taylor. And also a juror today from Wellington, Florida, we have Mr. Ralph Alfano. Alan Wade is our horse designer, who will also be designing the World Cup class in Omaha. Alan from Ireland. Again, return to performance for him here at our wholesale farm venue for our 2016 edition of the American Gold Cup competition. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are very pleased to have with us today Allison McKinney, American Soprano. Allison was named first place district winner in the Metropolitan Opera National Council auditions. She has appeared for 2 seasons with the Conroe International Musical Festival as a soprano soloist, and was a deep bassist on the NAL, and as a soloist for the Bel Canto, a new series. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask you please join us as we honor this great nation of ours as we go rise and remove cover for the singing of America's #1 song, our national anthem. With our national anthem, and we will again be working here with the 75 competitors competing for the $86,000 purse in our American Gold Cup qualifier. 40 riders will qualify to return here on our Sunday competition, the featured class of our American Gold Cup, the Longines World Cup Qualifier for New York. So we work our way through here. Adam Cromartie and Oliver Kennedy here bring you the action ringside, and you can watch as well live on the World Wide Web at the FEI YouTube channel and as well on the USCF network. All those partners joining us here again to bring you the finest in show jumping competition. It is time to send it out to Mr. Alan Keeley to sound the call for the first of our 75. Alan Keeley has sounded the call, the first of 75 joining us here to compete over the NAL design course.
Well, we're set, we're ready, and we get underway. Best of luck to all our athletes, top 40s who qualify, and of course, in addition, $86,000 to play for here this afternoon. We start.
And with that, we are ready for the start of today's Grand Prix qualifier for the American Gold Cup. Katie Stazak here. I'm joined by Mark Leone. Mark, thanks for joining us. A really great track set today by course designer Alan Wade.
It sure is. It's going to be a great class. So many top rider horse combination. It's going to be a super class. And of course, these first couple will set the tone. So I'm sure everybody's anxiously watching to see the feel, because Alan Wade has so many great qualities as it builds a very subtle design. And of course, this field with the hills will add those little subtleties to the course. So here we go, up and over fence one.
Yes, and we have Brian Cornane, Captain Brian Cornane of Ireland, joining us first. He is aboard the 10-year-old Irish sport horse gelding Jabba's Celtic Miss. They jumped in the meter 40 on Wednesday to prepare for this class. They had just one time fault, were clear over the fences, a very solid round. They're returning from a European tour this summer, and this is a Nations Cup veteran pair, so we'll see how they handle this track today.
Now that combination line, he got a little stuffed up in the 4 strides. It's a 1 stride in and out to quite a short 4, and you could see he just had that back rail there. He lost a little of the impulsion.
And as we were talking a little bit about this course before things started, the combinations often are a trademark of Alan Wade and where people have a lot of difficulty. We saw it yesterday, and we saw it at the Hampton Classic. Alan Wade designed there, and we're going to see it again today. Lots of challenging combinations here, and you see again another rail is going to fall at the C element of our triple, our penultimate element of course today.
That was too bad. Yes, they had the C element as well down on that triple in the front. Just a little bit too much impulsion, so he'll finish on 8 faults. And our time was 67.18. Time allowed today is 71.
International starting field today. He's aboard Icon Door, the 8-year-old gelding by Timpa's Boy.
Theodore Boris is joining us next. He is on Icon d'Or. This is an 8-year-old Belgian warm-blood gelding. Of course, Teddy, one of our younger riders today. He's representing the nation of Israel. They were clear. They finished 11th in yesterday's welcome stake. And Teddy been training with Frank Madden here, based in the United States, and he's really up and coming. He actually had a great second place finish in the meter 40 speed with another of his horses, Giacomo, earlier in the week.
Well, that horse gave it quite a good jump there at the first one.
They looked very quick in the speed round of the welcome, or of the meter 40. That was earlier in the week. And the thing is, the horse was a lot slower than he looked because he spends so much time in the air.
Now we see again on that very short line there, he got up on that real, talking to McLean Ward before the start, he indicated that that line, in his opinion, was an early test, and we see right off the bat now that has been quite difficult.
2 rounds, 2 rails early on at the Hermes Oxer.
Wow. Okay, he got a little flat there and had that one behind. He's working on 8 faults.
Now, when I walked this course, that line there, the Longines Oxer, to that very tall blue and green vertical, that was the area of difficulty I pointed out. That is a very tall vertical.
You know, you could see that horse was hanging up. We call that a little bit hanging up at that combination back rail of B and 12 jumping and 2 on the clock.
It's going to be a total score of 14 for Teddy Boris and Icon d'Or. Not their day today, but Teddy is a young rider, relatively new to these kind of competitions. It's going to be an invaluable experience for him.
You know, you could see on the replay there, he just ran out of room. But, you know, he's coming back with a second horse today, so hopefully he can learn from that. But Alan Wade, you know, being a world-class designer, this is a proper test, and, you know, we can see it's not an easy task for today.
But if anyone can make this course look easy, it's our next rider, and that's Beezy Madden. She's in the ring now aboard the 12-year-old self-run stake gelding Twister. They had a beautiful round in yesterday's welcome stake. Just 2 time faults, setting them up perfectly for today's class.
You know, Beezy has so much experience and such a stylish rider. We're going to get a good feel of this course right now. This is a horse that plays well at the Hampton Classic, and this is a horse that she has high hopes for as she continues to build her string up.
Yes, they were 4th at the Hampton Classic, one of only 5 clear rounds that day. A very good effort.
She got jumped a little loose there, but she recovered well. Okay, now let's watch this line here, the 1 stride to the very short 4. Here we go. Again, she got that horse back immediately and was able to put enough room in there, not only to get off the front rail, but have enough impulsion for the back. This horse jumps quite hard. You can see him just a little bit overdoing it behind and kind of jostles Beezy a little bit there. Okay, working the clear. Time looks good.
He is a 12-year-old, this horse, but for a 12-year-old, I think he's relatively inexperienced compared to some of the other horses in Beezy's string. He's figuring it out.
She gets to the back. Light rub on C, but she got away with it. And there's our first clear.
69.64 within the 71 second time allowed, and we do have our first clear round of the day done in style by Beezy Madden and Twister. We have 77 riders competing today. Surely there will be someone else joining her. You never know, but we will have a jump off in today's class. So into the ring comes Audrey Coulter, the 23-year-old. She is aboard the 12-year-old Westphalian gelding Alex, owned by Audrey's Copernicus Stables LLC. They had 1 rail in the welcome yesterday to go along with 2 time faults.
You know, Audrey's really coming on very strong now. You know, she's got a lot of experience at the 5-star level. She'll be representing America in the finals in Barcelona, which is next week abroad. So she has really developed a nice group of horses and has good experience for a young rider now.
She really does. She's another young U.S. rider who's elected to base herself in Europe, and she's gotten a lot of valuable experience over there.
She trains with Harry Smolders, an Olympian from Netherlands, and Axel Verlooy. Little unlucky touch at that B element. She's got to hold it together now. You know, still quite a lot of course as they're qualifying. They've got to maintain their composure.
Absolutely. 40 riders will qualify today, so want to keep the score as low as possible. When there are 77 in the field, you want to put your best effort forward because it's no giveaway to make it into Sunday.
Oh, that C element is tall and tight. That horse just took it down behind and the vertical, the last one in front. So total of 12 faults. I'm sure she's a little disappointed with that.
That's going to be really close. I'm not sure if that'll make it into Sunday.
We'll see. But as I say, it's proven to be a difficult test today. But of course, this field has such subtleties. This hill going through the triple is very difficult. Getting the balance of the horse correct.
Christine McRae is our next rider on course. She's aboard the 10-year-old Zangerscheid Gelding Win for Life. Christine has had this horse for 2 years now. They were 4th in the $100,000 City of Ocala Grand Prix in February, most recently 3rd in the 3-star Grand Prix at Angelstone just last month in August.
And as many of our viewers remember, Christine was a gold medalist at the Pan American Games for America. She's got a lot of international experience. She knows this field well. Many of our riders, some of them are first-time riders here. Others have been here for many years. Chrissy knows this field. I think that's an advantage.
It is, and she knows it well with this horse. This pair was 3rd right here in May in the Grand Prix of North Salem. That was won by McLean Ward and Rothschild.
Very,
that quite well.
And a beautiful, easy jumper, right? I mean, she's got to watch a little bit of the time allowed. She looks a little bit patient, but we'll see if she picks it up here a little bit. Hadn't been a problem for some of the riders, but Katie, you talked about that vertical. That's sitting up there pretty tall up the hill. Got a rub in front, but it stayed. Okay, there she got that one in front.
That triple is so tricky. That first A to B, you have to really ride across, and it's not.
And a time fault.
You're right.
Yeah, she was just a little bit deliberate, but.
Absolutely. With that triple, you really have to get through that first part. It's long, and then the second part is very short.
Very
you really have to be adjustable in that triple combination. So a score of 5 there for Christine McRae and Win for Life. Easy Madden early on, our only clear round. And that's going to bring us to Andy Coker. He is on the 15-year-old gelding Uppy to Lee's, owned by KITS Entertainment and Sales. Andy's been riding very well here so far this week. He won Thursday's meter 40 speed with Xantos 2, and he almost won the welcome yesterday with this horse. He had the time, but had the very last rail on course. This pair this summer, they were 5th in the World Cup qualifier at Bromont, so looking for some more World Cup points.
And as you know, the World Cup being in Omaha next spring, a very coveted spot to earn on the World Cup group. But I know Andy, a young rider, is very keen on trying to make it. And, of course, that's why he's here, is keeping an eye on the World Cup standings. And Andy's a hard worker. He's really come on. He's an aggressive, positive rider.
He's fearless.
Tenacious. There we got an early rail there, a vertical in front. So many times you don't have to qualify for the Grand Prix, but here this is a little different format, and we can see, the nervousness or, the having to get qualified. It's not a given conclusion that you're participating in the World Cup, so this is a hard job.
And this is quite a challenging track for a qualifier as well. The jumps are set big, I think bigger than some of the riders expected.
Got the 6 nicely. Good on A.
That was well ridden.
Well ridden.
Very well ridden.
Okay, gets in with 8 faults in the time.
And a time of 69.67 for Andy Coker, and this was round on Uppy to Lee.
8 faults for Andy Coker and Uppy to Lee. That should put them through the Sunday, I would think.
That should, but we'll see how it shakes down.
So Leslie Howard will be the next to tackle this Alan Wade design track, and she is riding the 10-year-old Hanoverian stallion Quadam. They had 1 rail and 3 time faults for a total score of 7 in the meter 40 speed class on Wednesday, looking to improve upon that effort and get the most out of that schooling round in today's qualifier.
You know, Leslie has a World Cup Finals win to her credit. Team gold from Los Angeles, team silver from Atlanta Olympics. There isn't much that she hasn't won all over the world, and she is one of America's finest riders, very well decorated, and of course she is a knowledgeable rider on this field. She's won so many big classes. So again, Leslie, I think, has a good opportunity here. She has so much going for her with her knowledge, so we'll see how she does today.
You know, there aren't many grass venues here on the East Coast, and this horse definitely is one that has that valuable experience in a similar venue and on similar footing to this. They won the meter 50 Duncan Ross Cup at the Spruce Meadows Pan American Tournament in just early July.
As I say, Leslie travels the world, and you're right, Spruce Meadows, a top facility. This horse has proven it can jump on the grass. Here we go. And Leslie's got a nice group of horses now, you know. I mean, of course, that's the key, to have the horsepower as well as the skills to ride it, but she's developing a very nice group of horses, and she still has that fire. You know, she's a fierce competitor. You can see she's negotiating this course quite well coming down the last line.
You'd be hard-pressed to find a rider with more miles under her belt than Leslie, but you're right, she still is so hungry, and this is the best group of horses that I've seen from her in a while.
A bit unlucky, both rails behind A and C. Light rub on the last, so she'll finish with 8.
Unfortunately, trouble there through the triple combination, but that's the only area they have trouble on this course, so they'll finish within the time with a total score of 8.
Over from the U.S. to Venezuela, a rider who represented his own nation at the Olympics in Rio. Here's Pablo Barrios in the 11-year-old gelding by Manhattan. This is Antares.
You talked about how we have so many top quality riders here today. We have 4 of the 5 U.S. team members from the Rio Olympic Games. We have another rider here in Pablo Barrios coming fresh off the Rio Games. Of course, he rides for Venezuela and represented his nation there in Rio. He jumped as an individual, didn't make the individual final, but the fact that you made the Olympic Games says something right there in itself.
Yeah, Pablo has tons of experience, very strong rider. And this is his old partner, Antares, who he knows very well.
Yes, not only did they jump at Rio, they've been at the past 2 Nations Cup finals in Barcelona, the Pan American Games, and the 2014 World Equestrian Games. So this horse has seen it all.
Interesting, both of these combinations are downhill today. You know, the triple combination, that double, so it's a little bit of a balance issue for these horses. Pablo's jumping well. He's normally very efficient on the time. I don't expect him to have a problem.
He's one of the fastest riders around when they're in a jump off. He absolutely dominates the Kentucky summer circuit every single year.
6 is getting a little short.
Gets a little bit of luck there to help
Touch
him
that
out.
BC. There we go. Second clear, just under that time allowed. That's 70 seconds.
Squeaks through. The time allowed is 71 seconds. Doesn't matter how close he cuts it, though, he's in. And we are guaranteed a jump off. Pablo Barrios joins BZ Madden with our second clear round of the afternoon.
From Venezuela to New Zealand, Sean Wardley is in the mounting by contender. It is one that's been placing very well recently, 4th of the Grand Prix.
Sean Wardley is going to join us next. He is on the 10-year-old Oldenburg gelding Casper. They jumped in the meter 40 speed as their warm-up for this class. That was on Wednesday. They had 1 rail, 2 time faults for a total score of 6. Actually was a little bit of an uncharacteristic rail for this pair. They are known for their accuracy. Normally the trouble with them is the time allowed more so than the jumps.
And this horse does jump a lot of clear rounds. Casper is a horse that he's been developing, and they have been quite strong. Now he's moving a little bit early there, 1-2, thinking about the time, as you mentioned.
This pair has had more than one rail in a Grand Prix just once in 20 FEI ranking classes since February. 16 clear rounds in that span. That does include some classes where they had time faults, but every time the jump stayed up. 16 classes.
That's remarkable. That's a testament of consistency and obviously a good horse rider combination. Maybe stood off that one a little bit. A horse jumped at it, had it with the front end there, front legs.
Yeah, maybe could have gotten him back a touch more, but he gave him enough space.
Oh, very beautifully ridden through that triple.
That was excellent.
Beautifully ridden. Under the time, 4 faults for Sean.
Really solid round. That will definitely move them into Sunday safely. 4 faults for Sean Wordley and Casper. They will not jump off today, but we will see them back later in the week.
Back to the U.S. and we'll welcome in Danielle Toronto on the 9-year-old older pair by Albatross. This is Relive, versus 68.
You're looking at Danielle Toronto now. She joins us next with a 9-year-old Oldenburg mare, Calais 3. Of course, Danielle owns this mare along with her husband, Jimmy Toronto. She's had this mare for 2 years now. They put in a beautiful round at the Hampton Classic. Just had one time fault in a very difficult Grand Prix.
You know, this mare has made the move earlier this year to the 160 level and shows super quality. You know, Danielle, you know, it's difficult. Yeah, she's commuting back and forth to Florida, you know, taking care of her family. And she came in here just on Wednesday night. And but Danielle has a beautiful way with this horse. Very careful, sharp horse. And her and Jimmy, they have a great system working together. And I know they think an awful lot of this horse. And Danielle would love to get to the World Cup finals.
Jimmy and Danielle, another pair that have some of the best horses they've had in a few years. Jimmy also has Daydream that we're going to see tomorrow, and that horse only 8 years old, super promising.
Yeah, that was a late rail at that Oxford, just popping the back. That was unfortunate. I thought she was over that, but mare looks very comfortable out here on this field. And I remember Jimmy saying that he thought maybe this horse, you know, he always had a lot of confidence in this horse, and now it's stepping up, get to the back. That was unusual, that Salem just took it down in front there.
Just jumped a little bit flat right through there. Also going to take down the front rail of the green ox, or before the triple combination. That's going to leave them with a score of 12.
And I'm sure Daniel will be a little disappointed, as I thought that horse jumped well. But as you said, you know, maybe still a little green. It's a young horse, and as we talked about, this is a tough field for these. And Jimmy also be riding a young one, but as I hopefully that might be good enough to squeak in. We'll wait and see.
Elon Blumen is going to join us next. He is on the 8-year-old Zangerscheid Gelding Ladriano Z, owned by Blue Star Investments. In this horse's very first show with Elon, it was right here at this very venue last year. They did the 7-year-olds in the meter 30s, and now they're stepping up into this FEI competition.
As you said, yeah, that's a young horse. 8 years old is young, but again, you know, each horse is unique in regard to their, you know, mental, you know, capacity. And to say is the youngest horse in here today at age 8, but
the horse is definitely coming along well. Most recently, 3rd in the Great American Grand Prix over the summer, but that's at the national level. This is another step up and another test.
Very easy jumper. There he just had that front rail.
I believe he might have taken both rails down, front and back.
I just pick up the time a little bit here. As you can see, the stride is quite big on this horse, and the scope.
That was done quite well at the vertical.
Front rail a B, but got out of C all right there. Just under that time, so he'll come in with 8 faults.
0.3 of a second, they make it within the time allowed, but they do pick up a pair of rails that'll leave them on a score of 8.
Yeah, quite a good qualifier here. Very, very difficult. Not an easy task.
Andrew Borns is going to give it a try, though, next. He is on the 9-year-old Belgian warm blood gelding Hikari, formerly campaigned in Italy by Andrea Bartolotti, as well as the Irish rider Trevor Breen before Borns got the ride. They were 6th in the MLI Investments Grand Prix at the FEI level earlier this year at Split Rock. Also, more recently, runners-up. They were 2nd in the Welcome Stake at Tryon during that venue's 5-star week, but they do pick up an early rail.
Yep. Andrew sells quite a lot of horses. He's quite a talented rider, but he's a seller and a worker. Here we go. Seem to measure that well. The 4 strides, pick it up a little bit now. You can see he's moving a little bit to this vertical. You called it, Katie. That vertical's riding very difficult up the hill. That took that down behind. Another hind rail there. Okay, though.
Things unraveling a little bit for Andrew here late on course. He'll pick up 3 more rails through the final line. He gets a rub at the final Liverpool, but that one will stay up for him. He's going to finish on 20 faults. Only a 9-year-old. The horse is still learning, but not going to be seeing this pair on Sunday. That score.
And we continue on to another representatives that feature for the USA. It's limited to 9-year-old stallion by 60%.
Here's a rider that's really been putting forth a strong string of performances as of late. She's on quite a roll. It's Lauren Tisbo, and she joins us with the 9-year-old Seiya Italiano stallion, Coriandolo de Rubano, owned by Equestrian Farms LLC. They prep for this class on Wednesday in the meter 40. Clear over the jumps, just 1 time fall added to their score in that speed round.
Lauren acquired this horse over the early spring down in Florida. It's ridden by an Argentinian rider. And very, very interesting, scopy horse. It's a stallion, but again, she seems to suit it quite well. And, you know, as I say, it takes a while to really develop the chemistry. And as I say, this horse seems to have all of the skills, and Lauren's quite a talented rider. So you get a kick out over that vertical there a little bit.
This is a very strong-minded stallion. At the Hampton Classic, he wanted absolutely nothing to do with the water, and he pitched a fit when Lauren got after him. But she's come back and put in very solid rounds since that. I think it was just the water. Looking very good early on here. Just the last line, but it's a difficult one.
Really give that oxer nice air. Sets up here to the triple. Jumped a little flat there, but she got away with it. Oh, last
what a
jump in front.
heartbreaker. And he's not happy about it. He kicks out after touching that top rail on the final fence, the Longines vertical. They finish just within the time as well, but they'll pick up that one rail, 4 faults for Coriandolo Derivano and Lauren Tisbo.
She goes to the stick through that combination there. Quite handy athletic riding. You notice that horse has a bow in its tail. That's to warn the other riders that horse can kick a little bit in the practice area.
Bob having a successful summer season on the Canadian Tour in Spruce Meadows, and as well in Eastern Canada.
Lubov Kochitova is going to join us next. She is on the 10-year-old Oldenburg, Balou du Reventon. This pair retired on course on Wednesday in the meter 40, so they'll be looking to kind of start fresh from that schooling round. Probably not the way they wanted to warm up for this class, but it is a pair that has done very well. They were 3rd in the World Cup qualifier at Romont at the end of July, and Lubov had 2 very good rides in the Welcome Stake yesterday with her other horses. Just 1 time fault on those 2 with clear jumping rounds.
Lubov always finds good horses. You know, they have good skills, good power, and she has really come a long way in the last 5-7 years. I mean, with her technique, her skills, and she just has really come on very strong. As I said, she's got a good foothold into the World Cup season.
Lubov actually started Margie Engel's Royce.
Yes.
Margie Engel bought Royce from Lubov, and they ended up making the shortlist for the Olympics this year.
Super talented horse. As an American, we're very lucky to have that horse. But you can see this horse jumps quite nice. A little on a cross canter there. Now it's back on the right lead. Got way up under that, but you could see that horse really set up and jumped that. Exquisite jump there. Very good. Excellent ride.
Clear with 1 fence left to go. And they're
Clear
over.
round. Just within that time.
0.2 of a second to spare. They make it, and we will have a 3-horse jump off as it stands. Lubov Kochitova and Balou de Reventon put in a clear round, and that is how you rebound. They retired on course on Wednesday. No problem. They come here with this bigger track, and they will join us in the jump off.
You know, now that we've seen 15 or 14 rounds, we can see Alan Wade really pegged a great course. Super time allowed. Faults coming mostly all over. You know, we've seen the vertical, that far line with the Hermes Oxford, the triple in the last fence. Very, very excellent course. It's working out very well today.
We've seen Christine McRae. Now we're going to see Jonathan McRae. He is on the 11-year-old Dutch warm-blood gelding Aristoteles, the 5th. This is a horse that Jonathan's had for 3 years. They had 1 rail and 1 time for a 5-fault total in the Welcome yesterday.
We'll see if we can improve on Chrissy's 5-fault round. Again, she had a very nice round with her horse, Win for Life, and now here comes the other half of that pair.
This is another pair that, again, know this venue quite well. They jumped here at the old Salem Farm Spring Shows in May. Also 5 top 10 finishes at Spruce Meadows this summer, including a 4th place finish in the ATCO Queen Elizabeth II Cup. Very well ridden there.
The horse is wearing a sheepskin noseband. You can see what we call a shadow roll, which keeps the horse a little more focused, doesn't throw its head up. Oh, very explosive over B and C.
Shadow rolls, very commonly seen in the thoroughbred world for racehorses. We don't see them as much here, but very effective.
And
for
another
this pair.
clear.
We have another clear round. Jonathan McRae and Aristoteles will join the jump off, and then there were 4.
Again, we can see some of these riders getting just under the time allowed. That's another one we touched on. finishing at 70 seconds out of the time allowed of 71. So they're flirting with it. Again, they stayed on the right side of the clock.
These are experienced riders with clocks in their head, but with a track
That's what they say.
With a track this big, you definitely have to take your time in setting up some of these fences. So we're going to see Hocus Pocus VH Hoftertide. This is a 9-year-old Belgian warm blood gelding ridden by Katie Cox, owned by her KLC Investment Group LLC. They had 8 faults in the welcome yesterday. We'll look to improve upon that effort.
That front rail down there.
This is a pair that's very new to this level. They did mostly the under 25 Grand Prix, a couple of national level Grand Prix, and they've recently stepped up to this FEI level, the 4-star level, and they've had a bit of growing pains, but they're getting better with the experiences.
No question, you got to get out there and do it and get the experience. And, you know, saddling up and going against Olympic champions and stuff, it's something you've got to get exposed to. But you can see she's doing quite a nice job and getting a little tight there in the 5. Just didn't quite get that done.
Yeah, she needed to fight a little bit harder to create some more space there.
Whoa. You know, there maybe she set up a little bit. She said whoa to the horse over B and had the back rail. Too bad.
That's going to be a total of 20 for Katie Cox and Hocus Pocus VH Hoftertide. Again, very new to the level. They'll take a lot of lessons away from this.
Agreed. You know, it's a learning curve, but you got to get out there, you know, figure it out. And as I say, it's a shame she can't come right back and do it again because, you know, she definitely has very good talent. The horse seems to be quite good. As I say, it just wasn't her day.
Will it be Paul O'Shea's day? He's going to give it a try next with the 9-year-old Dutch warm blood Primal Calypso, owned by O'Shea as well as Michael Hayden. They had 5 faults in the meter 40 speed on Wednesday in their schooling class, 1 rail and 1 time fault. This is another pair that made their FEI debut right here at Old Salem in the spring shows here in May.
Paul's a top rider from Ireland. Not only, you know, he wins a lot, he goes fast, develops nice horses. Paul should, as you said, he's no stranger to this level of competition, this field.
We have a really strong contingent of Irish riders here in the United States. It's pretty unbelievable. They have their own little colony over here.
And, you know, I must say, many of these international riders, a lot of these have a great deal of experience on grass. You know, this is something that it's a specialty. And you can see Paul fought hard for that oxer. Very athletic. Paul has an exciting spring. He has 2 twins now, so he's a father. And, you know, I know he's very excited about that. That hasn't slowed him down at all.
Twins, that is more difficult than this course. Give me the choice of riding this course or twins. I'd take this course any day.
Paul sets it up.
That was quite an effort to make it out of that triple. I had lots of trouble in the middle, but how he was able to regain himself over that C element and continue on. Unfortunately, having some trouble there and going to end up with 12, but a really strong effort just to make it through.
You know, we should note the triple combination, particularly the B element, is right next to the water jump, which is quite a myriad of flowers and a big. And I think that horse stared a little bit and got a little bit disrupted by there, as I say, was jumping very well and just got distracted. A behind him, then as they lost his focus and took down B. But Paul rode amazing to get out of there. But that's something that, you know, we should make mention. There's a little bit looky through there.
Same thing with that first combination. It's right up against the VIP tent. Definitely a lot of sights that could cause your horse to lose focus going through there. So we're going to see Samuel Parrott next, rides for Chile. He is on Couscous Van Orte, this 14-year-old Belgian warm blood gelding. They also retired on course in the welcome yesterday, so hoping to have an improved effort today. They get a rub early on, but it's going to go their way.
Samuel's been here in America for a number of years, a very competitive rider. Oh, very light touch it'd be. That was a bit
unlucky.
unfortunate. But again, we see again, he brings so much experience from all over the world, Europe, championships, and as I say, he's a real mainstay on the sport. Very far away on that oxer.
He fought hard there, almost got the horse back too much.
Right, it seems the horse almost was distracted by his hand and had that in front. He's got to hold it together now and bring home the 8. He's getting him very tight here. Okay.
Good effort to preserve the final 2 rails there in that triple combination, but he does take down the A element. He's going to finish with a score of 12.
There's 12 faults.
Yeah, the horse was a little feisty in the bridle, I think, in 2 situations. The horse got a little bit away from him and, kind of got distracted as he was regulating the horse. The horse threw his head up and just didn't quite have the focus. So we'll see how that 12 fault stacks up at the end of the day for this qualification. Might be good enough, but we'll have to wait and see.
It might, the way the horse is playing. It's definitely a challenge. Rails falling throughout, but we have a lot more riders to see. And one of them is our next Todd Minicus. He's on the 10-year-old Oldenburg mare, Quality Girl, owned by Quality Group. This mare really needs no introduction. She's had 5 Grand Prix wins this summer alone in Kentucky, Tryon, and Saugerties. However, Todd was really aiming her for the Saugerties Million last week, but he ended up pulling her up there. They had a bit of trouble. I was surprised to actually see Quality Girl here because Todd says she doesn't really love the grass.
You're absolutely right. Todd would prefer all-weather footing for this particular mare, but this is an ATM horse. I mean, this horse is a cash machine, and Todd is a top rider. They're a little bit overridden, had the front rail down. I think his top horse, the chestnut, Baloo, I think Babaloo might be out, and as a result, Todd being the competitor, he's not going to sit out a high-level show like they go. What a prestigious event. So Todd's going to make it work. He's working the 4-fault round here. Yeah. Beautifully ridden with precision. For not liking the grass, I thought the horse jump performed very well. He's got to be happy with that.
I couldn't agree more. That'll safely move them on to Sunday. That was a really strong round from Quality Girl. Looks like she is just fine and back in form after what happened in Saugerties last week, especially on her less preferred surface.
You can see just that front rail of 5A with the front legs. Maybe unlucky there. I think he placed it just right. Too bad for Toddy.
4 faults, Todd Minicus and Quality Girl, but they will qualify most likely to Sunday's Grand Prix World Cup qualifier. And that'll bring us to Emmanuel Andrade. He is aboard the 10-year-old Dutch warm-blood gelding Bon Jovi. Emmanuel just celebrated his 20th birthday last week. He had 12 faults with this horse in the welcome yesterday.
Well, for 20 years old, Emmanuel has quite a lot of experience. He's a talented young rider with a great group of horses, and he's come in the last year jumping at this meter 60 level. He got to go to the games this year. As I say, very exciting young rider and teammate of Pablo Barrios.
They're going to pick up a rail early here.
And he made an extra stride there, but got away with it.
It helps that he has quite the string of horses. He has just in sheer number, he gets in the ring a lot, and that has helped him get a lot of experience quickly with all of those reps and rounds he's getting.
He dropped that 5B as well in front, so he's working on 8 faults. Just a little in tight and softened, and the horse just took it out in front there. Very light touch. Okay.
Harder touch there through A and C. as they come to the final Liverpool. He wrestles a bit, makes it, works out though, but unfortunately they'll pick up a time fault as well. That's going to put them on 25. We will not see them on Sunday. 25 faults for Emmanuel Andrade and
You know, there again, you could see how this field and the conditions just nicely create problems for the horses with balance issues and concentration. And as I say, it's got its own character. Very tough jumping.
it really takes the details, and just working on those few details makes the difference between one rail and forward.
And then, there is a young rider, when you have a pole down there, be able to keep your wits about you and stay focused in the qualifier. It seemed that horse got a little more scared, a little bit uneasy, and Emmanuel just wasn't able to recapture the confidence of that horse as the round progressed.
It kind of just unraveled a bit.
Yeah.
So we'll see Marilyn Little now in the ring. She is on Karen O'Connor's Clearwater. They had a beautiful round on Wednesday in the meter 40 clear with just 2 time faults. The top 3 finishes in Ocala and Live Oak, top 5 finish at Upperville, and a top 10 finish in Wellington this year. Most recently, they were second in the 4-star Grand Prix at Tryon in July.
And as many of our viewers know, Marilyn also dabbles in 3-day equestrian and is quite a force there as well. She is such a talent and a super competitive rider. This young lady is a master of competitive riding. She will not tolerate not doing well, and so she's a very competitive young lady.
She went to the Pan American Games last year in eventing, and in her most recent event, she was first and second in the advanced division, so she excels on all fronts. She doesn't do anything halfway, and it's pretty remarkable how she manages it all.
And Marilyn's mom was a top Grand Prix rider, Lynn Little. Oh, very unlucky there at sea. Very unlucky. Ooh, and the last jump, didn't need that one for 2 down, 8 faults.
The final 2 come down for Marilyn Little and Clearwater. They'll finish on a score of 8.
Which is quite impressive. She's sitting in 10th place after 21 entries, so 8 faults is a credible round here today. A bit unlucky. I thought that horse jumped very well. A little bit late in the course, those rails, but again, I thought the horse jumped well.
And she rode that triple absolutely on the money. She is very tight out to sea. She said, whoa, the horse came back, and like you said, just a little bit unlucky. So that'll lead us to Molly Ash. She is on the 16-year-old Holsteiner gelding, Carissimo, and they had 2 time faults in the meter 40s on Wednesday, but jumped all the fences cleanly, looking to do that again today.
Oz had some very nice big wins with this horse and clear rounds. What I would call a very scopy horse. Once in a while can get a little bit in front there at the jumps, but for the most part a very experienced, very good Grand Prix horse. She got in a little tight, but the horse rocked back very well there. And again, Molly knows this field well for the last 15, 20 years, as I say, so she's no stranger to the nuances of this field.
She'll take the front rail of the
and
Longines
another one in
boxer.
front.
Both rails there in that line.
She's got to bring it home with the
Yeah,
stay
she
within
won't
the
wanna
8.
add any more to that. And she gets super lucky on the A element and the C element of that triple. Lots of rubs and rails twisting. She won't get as lucky to the last fence. She's going to finish on a score of 12.
And 3 down, Molly with a 12.
And look at her face. She's doing the
And
same
a time
thing
fault
that you
as
just
well.
did.
That's a shame. 13 today.
That could be a difference maker right there.
That
That's
could.
a very costly time fault.
We talked that horse, Carissimo, very scopy, very bad. Every once in a while overpowers his front end a little bit. But a very, very scopy horse.
Molly finished that round and did exactly what you just did. Oh, you saw her face.
Yeah.
Back in 2015, Omaha decided the World Cup final in 2017.
Quite an international field today. We now see a representative of Bolivia. This is Daniel Bedoya, and he is on the 10-year-old Dutch warm-blood gelding Quattro. They had 1 rail and 2 time faults for a 6 penalty score in the meter 40s on Wednesday. This is a pair. They were 2nd in the 3-star Grand Prix at Tryon in June and 7th in the 5-star Grand Prix there a few weeks later.
Oh, light touch in front there. 5A down.
Almost maybe cutting the turn a little bit too much. He could have given himself a little more room to get straighter to that oxer.
I think he's got to think a little bit about the time. You know, just a little bit of a big, slow-moving horse. Beautiful jump there.
That vertical comes down again.
You called it, Katie. That was one that I thought might jump a little bit better, but as I say, it's just sitting up that hill a little bit, and the horses are just jumping at it a little bit.
Walking the course and standing next to that vertical, it's pretty tall. It is pretty tall. And they'll take the final Liverpool down as well. That's going to put their score on 12 for Daniel, Bedoya, and Quattro.
And 71.00. Wow. Just under.
The time allowed is 71 on the dot.
And he used every bit of it.
Every second he used, every millisecond squeaked out of that time allowed. You want 71 seconds, Alan Wade? I will give you 71 seconds.
Last year on the World Cup Tour in Las Vegas, and he also earning top placings.
So into the ring come Peter Lutz and Robin Dupontal, the 11-year-old Cell Francais gelding owned by E2 show jumpers. That's Michael Meller and Kathy Gallagher. They had a beautiful round on Wednesday in the meter 40s. 3 time faults. They took it very slow and steady, but the horse jumped great. They're, of course, winners of the 5-star CP Grand Prix in June at Spruce Meadows and in the top 20 overall at the World Cup Finals.
You know, Peters was a top equitation rider as a junior, and now he's gotten some nice horses and jumping in this. Has always been a capable rider. Peter's been working a bit with McLean Ward in consultation. You know, I think that little bit has given him that little extra. He had a super win this summer, as you said, in Spruce Meadows, and I know Peter's really hot to try to get to the World Cup Finals. And as I say, this is his number 1 horse. He's got to get it back. He's getting a little tight, but the horse snapped up beautifully there.
Well, this is a home show for Peter. He and McLean, they're based right in nearby Brewster, and Peter actually keeps some of his horses at McLean's barn. This particular horse, as well as his other Retiro, were both owned by McLean, and he found them within that barn.
Very light rub on that last, but a beautiful clear round.
Excellent ride for Peter Lutz and Robin de Pontal. They will return for the jump off. That was a very stylish ride. Like you said, Peter, a top equitation rider, and he just makes everything look so smooth.
And interesting to note, I asked Peter why he wasn't participating in the million last week, and he goes, my eye is on the World Cup. I want to be ready for the Gold Cup. And obviously he knew what he was doing. Again, it's so important to have the strategy and the planning, and my goodness, that horse jumped impeccable today. What a beautiful round for Peter.
With all the big money classes out there, it can be so easy to get caught up and show, and it's so important for the riders to have goals and have their horses peak. That was Peter's goal, and look at that.
Yep.
He accomplishes that in style. Well, if there's a pair that can follow that up, it would be this one. Here is Gazelle. And this is the 10-year-old Belgian warm-blood mare ridden by Kent Farrington, of course, who was just 5th individually at Rio with Voyer. They jumped 4 clear rounds to make a 6-horse jump off for the gold medal there. And now he is back with this mare, who is really one of the best in Kent string as well, along with Voyer. And maybe Credence would be the other one that he has that might be above this mare.
Well, it's a real treat to see Ken back here in America. He's all over the world, winning, and he's just a pleasure. Number 2 now in the world, and he's just a consummate pro with very laser beam focus. And this is just another day at an office for Ken. He's seen so many top venues. This horse is a master at Spruce Meadows. Grass is not anything difficult for these horse rider.
A remarkable 4 wins at Spruce Meadows for this horse alone this summer, including the Queen Elizabeth Cup. I mean, they just make it look so easy, and as I say that, they have the C element down of the triple, a heartbreaker. They'll just have the one rail, but
that was too bad.
That one today, then Sunday, and we'll definitely see them back then.
Agreed. I think there was some very well, a little bit rub in front there. I don't know if Ken could have helped them a little bit more, but as I say, a masterful ride, and that's why he's number 2 in the world. He is so amazed at Ken's accomplishments.
So we've seen Danielle Toronto. Now here's Jimmy on that 8-year-old I mentioned, Daydream. He's also entered for the meter 50 tomorrow, but if he qualifies for the Grand Prix, I could see him moving on. Jimmy's definitely going to want to move on, but he has that entry in there just as a contingency plan. This is a really promising 8-year-old. Clear and 8th in the meter 40 speed on Wednesday.
For sure, this is a horse that, okay, it's a little young, but it has all of the tools, very athletic, scopy. But as I say, it went beautifully the other day. I know Jimmy would want to do well here. I know he's got to back up Danielle. They work well together. Vertical in front. A little bit uncharacteristic. I didn't think that would have been an issue. Whoa.
This horse still is only 8 years old. I watched them at the Hampton Classic as well, and there were parts of the course that were just beautiful, but then you just saw a little bit of the baby moments that come out, and that's to be expected. He's competing at a very high level for his age.
Pulling back. Whoa. He learned from that other rub on that vertical. That horse really put out over that 160 vertical. That was... Whoa. Nice little rub there. He's all right.
A little lucky there.
Like touch behind. 8 faults. All in all, a very good round. Little green there maybe at the last. I thought the early vertical was a little bit unlucky. That probably didn't need to happen. But again, 8 years old, got to be happy with that round. Could have, should have been a 4 and easily a clear.
Absolutely, and like you said, heading up to that huge meter 60 vertical that we've seen come down so many times, I think having that early rail, like you said, he learned from it, and that helped him out there.
And very, very smart through the combination. Very smart through the triple.
I'd be excited to have that horse in my string.
Oh, yes.
Though I'd take any of them. So that'll bring us to Haley Barnhill, and she is on BZ, the 10-year-old Dutch warm blood mare by the top stallion Cardento. 4 jumping, 1 time for a score of 5 in the meter 40 speed on Wednesday. They were 10th with just 1 rail 2 weeks ago in the Hampton Classic Grand Prix.
Well, Haley's another phenomenal young rider who now is, starting to make a name for herself at this level. She is just a top-class hunter rider and always been a great rider. But as you said, it takes a bit of time. She's working with Peter Wild, who again is an experienced professional. Mr. Tom Wright has done so much for Haley and the Ingram family, and again, a very, very accomplished young rider. And this horse jumps some very nice rounds throughout the year.
And she's brought this horse all the way up from the likes of the junior jumpers. They really have quite a partnership together. And Peter, they just mentioned, he just won the welcome yesterday with Paloma.
And again, it's very, that was a silly rail there, that vertical. That was too bad. Normally, if this horse has a pull, normally it's with the hind legs, if I've seen it in the past. But she seems to be working on a nice stride and a nice pace. Whoa. It was a little bit, got a little stood off that oxer and just got a little flat. Okay, so you brought the 8 volts well within the time.
So a score of 8 for Haley, Barnhill, and BZ. That should safely move them into Sunday's competition.
This is round 5. Everyone wants to set a 0.
So Georgina Bloomberg joins us next. She is on the 11-year-old Holsteiner, round 5. They were clearing yesterday's welcome stake. They finished 14th in a field of 82. They also won the 10,000 Royalton Farms Oprah Jumper class at the Hampton Classic a few weeks ago. It's actually a former mount of Lauren Tisbo's. Georgina bought him early last year.
This is a home show for Georgina as she's right around the corner. She's had another very good year. You know, she took a little bit of time off, had a child, and now she's really very, very dedicated and committed, and she's riding so well. And really, I think, has her eye on the sport again, and she has been doing so well.
Georgina, of course, like you mentioned, has her son Jasper. She also rescues countless animals in need, and still very serious about this sport. She also has Lily, who she rode the Pan American Games last year. And she trains with Jimmy Doyle, who's now also helping Jessica Springsteen while she's back in the States trying to qualify for World Cup finals.
A nice round going here. Touch in front.
She'll have the final 2 elements of the triple down.
Ouch.
She takes down the Liverpool as well.
But Alan, really, that last line is a real cooker, huh? I mean, you're not home until you're done, and it really is a... Thought that horse again went very well. A little bit unlucky at back rail, and then the horse got a little aggressive at sea, and that was too bad. That 12-fault round there.
The final 3 jumps clear all the way through. That's a bit of a heartbreaker for Georgina in round 5. That score isn't really quite indicative of how nice that round was.
But, you know, it's such a tough sport, and these poles are so light, and the nuances. I mean, you know, that's as we say, you know, well, my horse jumped well, but had 12. Well, again, when you look and think through it, you know, you can see little things that you might do differently, and also it's the luck of touching 1 or 2, you know. But as I say, hopefully she'll be back. I think she might have 1 more horse in this, so she's lucky to come back with her other Scalino, and her and Jimmy will go back to the drawing board and come back out.
And another thing, I think another trademark of Alan Wade's courses is that the last line is so difficult. Like you said, you are not home free. You can't take a breather and be like, okay, I'm all right.
Right.
It's like you got to gear up like you're just starting again. So we have Charlie Jacobs in the ring now, and he is aboard the 10-year-old mare Kasinja S. They had 4 jumping, 3-time, 7 faults in the welcome yesterday. They were second a couple weeks ago in the Hampton Classic Grand Prix.
You know, there I thought he rushed through that combination. Charlie kind of threw his body there a little bit as downhill. This horse has had a heck of a summer.
Also second in that 5-star $375,000 CP Grand Prix at Spruce Meadows.
And then the Hamptons as well. He also had another top finish. Very nice. I know Charlie, again, would love to get to the World Cup finals. He's another rider who opted to stay focused on the Gold Cup for the World Cup rather than, you know, go for the $1 million last week. And again, and we also have to compliment Charlie. You know, he works very hard, you know, managing the Boston Bruins and committing his time. Okay, 12 faults. I'm sure he's not going to be thrilled with that round. He's such a competitor.
Again, 2 rails in that final line, really posing a lot of problems for riders here.
Katie Coker joining us on the Sienna second out. 9-year-old mare by Sid.
owned by the Eagle Valley Partners of Lafayette, Louisiana.
Andy Coker already joined us with Uppy DeLee. He is now aboard Gianna, the 9-year-old Dutch warm-blood mare owned by Eagle Valley Partners, LLC. They had an uncharacteristic 16 faults in the meter 40 speed on Wednesday, but then they came back, jumped clear yesterday in the welcome, and finished 12th. They were also 5th in the Grand Prix qualifier at the Hampton Classic.
You know, Andy went earlier, I think the number 6 position, jumped an 8-fault round. Looking back, that's quite a good score. You know, at the time we weren't sure, but, you know, an 8-fault is quite a very credible score in today's class.
At this point, you would say that would safely move him on to Sunday.
Andy always carries nice pace. He's a positive, aggressive rider. And Andy's a rider who now, oh my goodness, kicked right up in that line.
What a recovery. He didn't let that phase him at all.
You know, Andy has won so much on the national level and regional level. Now he's made the success of that. It's too bad. 5AB down, both rails. But he's an exciting rider who's, you know, pushed himself, and now he's gotten to this level, and he just loves the sport. You can tell he's thirsting for competition.
Andy's another who really has built a business on selling a lot of horses.
For sure, yes.
And now he's starting to get these FEI horses and keep them around a little bit longer, which will only help him as well.
Horse was getting a little aggressive there, front rail of B.
Yeah, just a little strung out.
Oh boy.
So that'll be a score of 16. That probably will not move them on to tomorrow, or to Sunday rather, but as I mentioned earlier, the format of this class, you have to declare your World Cup horse before jumping in this class, and you ride that one first. So Andy chose to declare Uppy DeLee. That was the correct choice. They had the better round, and they will most likely move on to Sunday.
Jessica Springsteen, USA.
So here is Jessica Springsteen. She is riding the 9-year-old Dutch warm-blood gelding Sinar VA. They are fresh off a win in the Socrates 1 Million Grand Prix. It was Jessica's first 5-star victory of her young career.
It was a great win, a great win. The horse jumped magnificent, and she rode a class round.
One of only 2 double clear rounds, I think.
And Jessie, you know, been competing in Europe now, working abroad, and she again, always a talented rider, super rider, and has the desire to be the best. And as I say, she's really committed. And as I said, this is a superstar horse.
Looks a little fresh to me.
Yeah, right, a little aggressive there. You're right. Horse got a little bit anxious coming down that hill.
Like you said, Jessie has been training in Europe. She rides with Edwina Tops-Alexander and Jan Tops in the Netherlands, but she wants to qualify for the World Cup finals. There's that vertical down. Just didn't quite get him back enough.
Got to hold it together on this line, I think. Horse looks a little fresh, a little anxious. Whoa.
Bite.
Wow. Horse really gave it an extra try at that C element. Okay, she'll bring in the 8 just under the time.
They jumped just last week. They jumped yesterday in the welcome. The horse still has plenty of energy left in the tank.
And you know, for a horse like that, it rarely has rails. That rub that we had on that meter 60 vertical going up the hill, I'll bet that carries over to Sunday. You know, these horses, you know, they're such quality. You know, they'll learn from that. And I think, you know, yes, she's disappointed for today, but her eye is on Sunday, so I think that should be good enough. And as you say, that horse probably will come out firing on Sunday.
It's also easy to forget that this horse is also still just 9 years old. So here is Daniela Stransky, the 20-year-old riding for Venezuela. She is on Thriller Key, a 12-year-old Swedish warm-blood stallion owned by Stransky's Mission Farms.
Now, this is quite a good step for Daniela. I know this is probably one of the bigger tracks that she's jumped. She's quite a young rider. You can see vertical right down in front there.
This is actually this pair's first time jumping this week. Daniela's ridden a few other horses in the meter 40 speed in the Welcome and was having some rails there as well, but definitely getting the valuable experience. You see another rail comes down there. She just needs to work out some of the finer details and finessing, and those things start to show up a little bit more when the jumps get bigger.
Now she's got to really focus on this. Oopsie-la.
A nice save to stay on, but there was one more stride in there.
Yeah, it looks like she just missed her step there. Looked like the ground cut up a little bit there, and now she circles, and that'll do for today. I don't know whether nerves got the best of her, but she'll be back. You know, it takes, as we talked earlier, you've got to get out there and do it a bit. And she was having a very credible round, and then she lost her way to that ox. That was too bad for Daniela.
Well, here's a pair that has plenty of experience. This is Amanda Derbyshire. She is aboard the 10-year-old Holsteiner mare, Lady Maria, BH, owned by David Gotchman. They had 5 faults in the meter 40 speed on Wednesday, 1 rail, 1 time fault. Of course, this is the winner of the meter 45s and 2-star competition at the Global Champions Tour of Miami Beach. Also 6th in the 4-star Grand Prix at Upperville this summer.
Amanda's one slick rider who, obviously, she's from England, and she, knows how to ride the jumper. She's been here in America now for a number of years, working with the Gotchman family, done a super job for them, training the children, producing top hunters. But she's always been a very talented rider. Now, you can see this horse has quite a lot of jump, and she's no stranger to this level because of her background from home. Very handy ride. Light touch there, but she's all right.
I just love her horses. They are so adjustable. I mean, they come right back. It makes these tracks just not
It'll
getting...
stood off that, right? And maybe could have kicked a little harder for the back, but again, a very, very excellent round at 4 faults.
4 faults there, that's well done. That's a top performance today.
Very well ridden. Maybe she could have given a little more at the BL. I mean, we're talking inches, but a very, very excellent round. She's got to be happy with that.
Laura Kraut just returned from Rio as well, where she cheered on her partner Nick Skelton to an individual gold medal. She also cheered on Team USA as an alternate for a team silver medal. She took her gray mare Zeremony over there, and she is riding the gray gelding Kung Fu. Today he's owned by St. Bride's Farm, 9-year-old Holsteiner.
Laura is just an amazing rider. Like Kent, they're just all over the world. And her skills, as you said, she's just become one of the best riders out there in the world. And horses love her.
And she loves her horses?
Yes. And as I say, who better to be on the ground with you than Nick Skelton? I mean, the legend of the sport. I mean, and, she always had it, but now she's even better.
They're a great team. They really are. And this is a younger horse for Laura. She said this is probably one of the bigger tracks that he will have jumped. But they won the meter 50 Prix of Stawag at the prestigious CHIO Aachen. Oh, great preservation there.
Wow. Look at her fight for the 6. She's going to get it. Wow. She's going to kick. Look at that. Professional riding. Wow. What a ride.
That was brilliant.
And a clear round.
It rolls in the cups,
Clear
it
round.
stays, and they are clear.
As you said, a
join
young
the
horse.
jump off.
But who better to guide you than Laura? And, she really did some horseback in there, and that horse has a lot of quality. But this triple, by the water seems to be a distraction. It's that ox is just wide enough. And very tough test. What a ride for Laura.
I mean, that was spot on.
That's some horsebacking.
I can't wait to see them go there.
This is the USA. It's on the road, the 9-year stallion, pre-racing.
Six clear right now?
We are on
2.
We are on 6. Easy Madden, Pablo Barrios. We've got Christine McRae, Lubov Kochetova, Peter Lutz, and Laura Kraut. Quite a field. 3 Olympians there. Allie Wolf will now look to join them. This 27-year-old trains with Michelle Grubb. She is aboard the 9-year-old Dutch sport horse Query 2. They had just 3 time faults in the meter 40 speed on Wednesday as their schooling ground for this class.
Al is another exciting young rider who really has her eye on the big game here. She's ridden for the U.S. a couple times now in Nations Cup, and despite her youth, she has a very, very cool customer, good horses, and she's working with Michelle Grubb, who, again, an excellent horsewoman who knows the game. And that's what you need, you know, and this horse peaked a little bit there, got a little bit hung up in that combination. It's too bad. It was either lost his footing or just somehow got a little peaked in there. Something happened.
Normally you would expect the horse to peak and jump up. She peaked and just jumped out.
Okay, she's working on the 4, coming down this very difficult last line. Whoa, 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 whoa. She had the right idea. Get. Just didn't quite get there. Just under that time allowed.
5/100ths of a second will keep Allie Wolf within the time allowed today, so she will finish on a score of 8. She should be pretty happy with that, the way this horse is going. We are now on to Nick Delajoyo. A few more left to jump before we take a break here for some ring maintenance. He's on the 10-year-old Oldenburg mare Corlita, owned by the Corlita Group. Nick got a syndicate together to help purchase this mare a couple years ago. They jumped cleanly, had 2 time faults in the meter 40 speed on Wednesday.
Settled him well. Whoa. A little overridden. I think he maybe thought he needed to put a little more pressure, and I think a little too much, and just rolled that B element of 5B.
This is definitely a progressive course. It gets harder as you go. I do have to say, at least the first few jumps here seem to be a nice rhythm establishing set of fences for the riders.
Gives you a false sense of security, but
it's a trap.
Very light touch on that back rail. Okay. Time fault as well. 9 total.
Haven't seen too many time faults today, but Nick Delajoyo picks one up with Corlita. They'll finish on a score of 9.
Very unlucky touch on that B element. And then also, I think maybe as Nick looked back, I thought that 5AB a little downhill, he could have maybe just trusted the A element a little bit and just rolled that B element over there. So been both B elements of the combinations today.
We have another Irish rider here on course. Analyze This is in the ring, the 12-year-old Hanoverian gelding with Kevin McCarthy in the irons. This pair placed 6th with a clear round in the meter 40 speed on Wednesday.
Another one of our Irish contingent here, and as I said, they're no stranger to riding on hills or on grass, so I think he comes with a little edge.
However, it's a very new partnership. Kevin just started riding this horse in June, but 4 top 10 Grand Prix finishes so far in their brief time together, mostly though at the national level.
Yeah, we had rails at 5A and B working on 8 faults.
Not the way you want to start with knowing what's to come in this course.
And then that horse just really leveled that vertical, just didn't even
Jumped right
focus.
through it.
Let's see if he pays attention here. Little touch, but better. Little overridden right at the base. You know, there he was getting a little there too early, and looks like the nerves are getting to him a little bit. He's not quite sure what he wants to do here. I think he's retiring, I think.
They're going to call it a day. The horse there kind of drifted. He couldn't get him straight and focused in on the jump, wasn't getting the distance he wanted, and things had already not gone their way earlier in the course. Just not their day today.
This is the next for the MTM cars. This is by Action Breaker, SNL Elite. Just Dory Douglas, number 1038.
So Dorothy Douglas will give things a try now. She's on the 11-year-old Belgian warm-blood gelding SNL Elite, owned by MTM Farms. This is actually a former mount of Derek Herron's. Dorothy got the mount at the end of the 2014 winter season, and this year they won the Equiox Grand Prix at Hits Ocala. This is actually their first FEI show since International Omaha in May, but they're no strangers to this show. They're back for the 2nd year in a row.
And Dorothy works with Mike McCormick and Tracy from Texas, and they know how to produce good horses and riders. Oh, very early. That's on. We haven't seen that jump come down much today at all.
No, there was one less there.
Okay. Let's see if she keeps this horse balanced coming down at 5. It really stood off it. You can see that cost her the back rail. You know, it's either or. You know, get up under it, front rail, or there she was a little far off and weak and had the back. She's working on 8 now. Just got to think a little bit about the time. There's so many, again, as we talk about with Alan, there's so many subtleties. Not only you have to jump the fence, you got to keep your eye on the clock. Just when you think you've got it, you don't have it. He's a genius.
Been getting a little caught up in the turns, cross-cantering a few times, having to wait to kind of get the balance back.
We've seen an awful lot of that in this triple combination. Horses giving up a little bit or just not really staying focused. You know, and I do believe by that bushes and the water, the horses are just a little starey. Oh, that's too bad. Total 21.
It's going to be a 21 fault total. 5 rails and a time fault. Definitely not their day today, but probably one of the bigger tracks they jumped. Again, they haven't been in an FEI competition since May, so it's a little bit probably of an eye-opener for this horse.
And as we talked about at this level, World Cup standards, this caliber, not only are the fences big, but the C element is not right. Looks like they didn't set that fence correctly. The right side is higher than. Is that the way it was?
That's the way it was.
Looks okay to me. Well, they're not making any changes.
Looks like that's all right. Okay, no, I thought maybe they put that pole on a little funny, but looks all right. Kian White from
Kian White is going to join us next with Corette, the 9-year-old Dutch warm-blood mare. And they were 12th in the meter 40s on Wednesday with a clear round. And they'll be looking to put in another clear effort today, but going to be much harder. another very new partnership. Kian just started riding this mare in July. They made their Grand Prix debut at Angelstone last month in August.
Quite a handy jumper. Very good.
Oh, one more to go.
Ah.
Oh,
He had it.
that's a heartbreaker. Kian White and Corette gonna pick up 4 faults here, knocking down the final Liverpool. But again, for a new partnership,
Very,
that's
very good round.
excellent.
Horse was catty, careful. Really, really jumped well.
Excellent finish. We will see them back here on Sunday. So we've seen 39 riders so far today. We are going to take a short break for some ring maintenance as we take care of some of the divots in the grass here and drag water the schooling arena where it's sand out behind this venue here. And we'll be back in just a few minutes. As it stands, through 39 riders, 6 clear. We'll have a very exciting jump off coming up in just a little bit, but a few more riders to get through here in this large class of 77.
Canada, USA, Mexico, from July 2016 to April 2017. 14 riders qualify to a global final to take place in Omaha, Chile.
up the action again in just a couple of minutes, but we do have 6 clears at this stage. That's BT Nana for the USA, Apple Barrios for Venezuela, Luba Rogers for Russia, Jonathan Fickray for the USA, and also representing the USA, Benelux and Brian showing entries to jump off against the clock with all those clears inside the winner. They also want to make sure that it's on 40 here, because that will qualify them for the Grand Prix on Sunday, Longines FEI World Cup, John in New York, and they will be competing for that coveted American Gold Cup as well. Round 35 riders starting, and some of them have got a couple of horses. 54, in fact, just counted 54 riders. And of course, some of them got 2 moving forward through to the qualifier.
Jay's strolling up here. I'm just going to open up the gate.
And we are now set to get back underway here as we welcome in our 40th in the order. Here we welcome in the second ride for Audrey Coulter of the United States. Again, it's the Copernicus Stables, the owners. Apollonia 23, the 12-year-old mare by Bogey Gardens Apollo, number 696. Starts us back up.
And we are back underway with competition now here at the American Gold Cup for the 4-star Grand Prix qualifier. Katie Stazak here along with Mark Leone. Audrey Coulter is back in the ring with her second mount of the afternoon. This is the 12-year-old Danish warm-blood mare, Apollonia 23. We are just about halfway through today's competition. We have 6 clears so far. Audrey will look to add to that list with this Copernicus Stables LLC mare.
Now, Audrey had a 12-fault round on her first horse, so she hopefully will have picked up a few tips, and here she goes on her second mount.
This pair had 8 faults in the welcome class yesterday. They were second in the 5-star Suncrest Grand Prix in Wellington this winter. Actually, the mare was with Audrey's coach, Harry Smolders. Audrey's been riding the mare mostly at the meter 50 level this summer. They had a top 10 finish at that level on the Global's Champions Tour of Paris in July.
There we go. Beautifully done through 5AB. And she's keeping a nice tempo for this course, which I think you have to have with Allen's course. Very good up and over that big 160 vertical, coming down the last line.
And we've seen it quite a few times, riders coming clear down to this line and then picking up sometimes 2-3 rails. But Audrey, just has the C element down.
You know, jumped B so well, rolled C in front, and now the last jump, the last 2. We've seen that a lot today. You know, the balance and the momentum of that horse, it just seems to really take its toll on those last 2 verticals.
And I think you make it so close. You have that rail, and then you kind of let the rein slide through your hands a little bit, and that last fence gets away from you as well. So that'll be a score of 8 for Audrey and Apollonia 23, improving upon her round earlier with Alex. However, Alex is the horse that she specified as her World Cup horse, so that will be the one that she will try to qualify for tomorrow's class. Marilyn Little is back now as well on her second mount. This is the 12-year-old Hanoverian mare Corona 93, owned by Raylan Farms, Inc. They had 1 time fall in the meter 40s on Wednesday, came back yesterday. They were clear and got a 5th place ribbon in the welcome stake. And they'll pick up an early rail on course here. That's, I think, only the 2nd time we've seen that Just World International vertical come down.
That is an early rail. Marilyn had 8 faults on her first horse. Again, another gray. That seems to be her color. Horse got a little spooky over there by the VIP tent. Rattled and rolled him, but there's nope. Picked
So
up the
she's
second
gonna,
roll. Now she's on 8.
yeah. You really want to, in an eventing term, leave a rail in hand coming down to that final line, because that's where you're going to pick them up and where you're really going to want to preserve the faults that you have.
Really got to settle this horse back.
That was well
Very
done.
well done through the triple. That's a lot of the horses have not jumped the triple well, and now here we go, that last jump again. In front. Total 13.
They'll pick up a score of 13. They get a time fault as well, added to their 3 rails. As actually Marilyn riding the tougher parts of the course better than the earlier parts with this particular mare. 13 for Marilyn and Corona 93. Mark, you were just saying we haven't seen McLean yet. He has 2 rides today, but they're both going to come in the latter half of this class. Here is McLean with the great H.H. Carlos Z, the reliable 14-year-old Zangerscheid gelding owned by Double H Farm. They actually had an uncharacteristic rail on Wednesday for jumping 3 times for a 7 penalty score in the meter 40 speed. This horse rarely drops a rail, though, and I'd expect him to be in much more competitive form today.
You know, you could see McLean before the first jump give him a little stick, and even after fence 1 he gave him the stick. Horse is jumping a bit careful. Okay, a little bit deep there, and had that oxer down in front.
It's really rare to see this horse have a rail.
Well, he really had to ride him through there.
But he hasn't been competing at this meter 60 height so much. It's been mostly in the speed classes while he's ridden Rothschild and Azure. But of course, Azure just jumped at the Masters and at Rio, so she's on a break. Rothschild is actually injured at the moment, so he's on a break. And this is the horse that has always stepped up for McLean.
This horse can do it all. Win Grand Prix. He's jumped him in Nations Cup. He's jumped him in speed class, and it's a winner.
Wins at Wellington, Old Salem, Rome, Canuck, and Aachen this year. Amazing.
That's the ride. What a beautiful ride. A lesson in power riding on that combination. And 4-fault round.
Just the one rail that is going to be more than good enough to move them on to Sunday's World Cup qualifier. A very strong effort again from H.H. Carlos Z with just an early rail there. As you said, McLean had to be a little bit aggressive there early on, and then he got into the groove and made the hard
Exactly. I
parts
thought the
easy.
horse got better as the course progressed. He was a little jumping high, a little overdoing it. But again, who better to manage that horse than McLean? And as you said, he brought a 4-fault round home. And as you said, that'll be plenty to qualify for Sunday's World Cup.
Now here's an intriguing pair. This is Hester and 7-year-old Lucy Delorier. Now, even if they win this class, they will not qualify for Sunday's World Cup qualifier because Lucy is not old enough. She has to be 18. She can only do 2-star and 1-star Grand Prix at the moment. And she more than qualified for the Grand Prix at the Hampton Classic. She was second in the qualifier to McLean on Carlos, but she did not ride in it. This is a stupendous pair, and everyone, all the other riders should be grateful she can't compete in the Grand Prix.
Right, Lucy, you know, to be like now, she's ahead of schedule. I mean, she just is excelling at this level, and what a talented young rider. Again, she's working the clear. Again, this horse and her just have fantastic chemistry.
This pair was most recently 4th at Saugerties last week. Again, they could not jump the million. They did the $250,000 Junior Amateur Owner Prix. They had 1 rail in a final jump off. They were the fastest 4 falters. They had the winning time, just 1 unlucky rail to finish 4th there.
Little rub there. Oh,
Wow.
a beautiful clear round for Lucy. How wonderful is that? As we said, she just is such a talented young rider, and this horse just loves her. What a great clear round for her.
This is her World Cup qualifier.
Yes.
She cannot jump on Sunday. She will be going for this, and she is riding fantastically. 7 now for the jump off. Lucy Delorier joins it with Hester. And that'll bring us to Vanessa Manick. She is on Grand Cru, the 10-year-old Belgian warm-blood stallion that she owns. Vanessa, of course, rides for Canada. She jumped a clear round with this horse in the meter 40 speed on Wednesday. Over the jumps, at least. They had 3 time faults, but a great schooling ground for this competition today.
And I believe Vanessa works with Connor Swale.
She does. This horse was ridden by Connor at one point before Vanessa started riding him, and she most recently rode him for Team Ireland in the 5-Star Nations Cup at Gijon, Spain. That was just last month. Connor rode him at Spruce Meadows and also at the Dublin Horse Show. Top results at both shows.
Sit down a little bit, a little tight, but the horse rocked back well there. Big strided horse. You can see she had to pull him back for that 4, but the horse was able to really keep his balance and lightness coming off the ground. Got to think a little bit about the time. She's close, but could be all right.
I was going to say, this looks like a lovely equitation round. Needs to pick up the pace just a little, but jump that vertical great.
Very. Here she's setting up for this last line. Powered so much just didn't quite get the balance back, and there's that time fault. You could see half of it. She was just on the margin, and that again won't keep her out of the class on Sunday, but again she has to think about that. So 5 faults.
In a class like this, though, when you're watching all these rounds go and seeing all these people have trouble, do you take a time fault to set it up so you don't have a rail?
I don't think so. I think, as I say, I'm sure Connor, is trying to tell her places to be neat and tidy, so you can take a little time where necessary. But at this level now, the time allowed you've got to learn to be able to move with pace and be efficient. But as I say, for a nice young rider, that's a very, very excellent round.
So we'll see David Raposa next. Here's a rider with plenty of experience. He's on the 9-year-old Belgian warm-blood gelding SNL Sage, owned by SNL Farms. They were clear with just a time fault in the Grand Prix qualifier at the Hampton Classic. Also a top 10 finish in the $380,000 5-star Grand Prix at Tryon this summer. First time they've jumped here this week.
Well, it's exciting. You said, David has a wealth of experience, but it's nice to see him with a good horse doing it at this level. I know he's excited, and he thinks an awful lot of this horse. Whoa. It's like he just was a little out of balance inside that combination. He's got to think about that time a little bit, setting up. You've got to be over this jump and on your way by 42. Otherwise, it's close. A little bit overridden right at the base.
Yep.
You can see David gave the horse a little bit extra.
Same thing there, just ridden a little bit past that vertical. Got away from him a little.
It looks like David's calling it. Either feeling that the horse maybe just wasn't comfortable, but maybe looking toward tomorrow. Looks like the Gold Cup, World Cup is out for him, but look to jump tomorrow, likely in the consolation. Too bad for David.
We have an $86,000 meter 50 class sponsored by Fidelity Investments tomorrow afternoon. And it looks like SNL Sage and David Raposa will have that on their agenda. They'll retire today. Well, here's a top pair. Richie Maloney is in the ring with the 13-year-old Zangerscheid stallion, Caribus Z, owned by Equanimity LLC. This pair, of course, the winners of the Hampton Classic Grand Prix just a few weeks ago. They had a rail in the meter 40 speed on Wednesday, as well as 3 time faults for a score of 7 in their warm-up. But I bet you this horse has no plans for that today.
Well, this is one of Ireland's heavy hitters, and as you said, Richie had that great win at the Hampton Classic, and he has a nice string of horses and does a wonderful job for the Equanimity Group.
Leading jumper rider at the Hampton Classic 3 of the last 4 years.
Impressive. Richie normally is very efficient on the time. You know, the horses and riders couldn't have asked for better weather. It's nice and crisp and great weather, good jumping weather.
This venue is absolutely beautiful, and they're having the picturesque weather to go with it.
Handled that 5AB6 line quite easily. So you can see Richie's just a little more prompt getting to the fences. And this horse also has blood and kind of gallops on a bit.
Well, Richie in great position coming down to this last line. Certainly has the experience to get through it, but it's been tough.
Well, using a little voice, set up. Light touch on the back rail.
Oh, skims the last fence, but they're good coming to the Liverpool. Oh!
Heartbreak at that last one again. Too bad for Richie. Horse jumped very well. That'll stay at 4 faults.
We've seen just about 50 riders, and 4 faults is 12th place. That's with, you know, his time counting in. I mean, there have not been a whole lot of even 4 fault rounds, let alone clear rounds.
Yeah, we've had, at this juncture, I have 8 4-fault rounds. Been a testament to the quality of this course.
So Shane Sweetnam, another Irish rider in the ring, and he is on Chacky Z. This is another pair that had a really nice show at the Hampton Classic. They were clear in the Grand Prix qualifier and finished 11th in the Grand Prix there at the Hampton Classic. 8 jumping, 1 time fault in their meter 40 schooling class this week. But again, I think that should set them up well today, another experienced pair.
We'll hear from one Irish heavy hitter to another. So, as you said, here's part of that strong Irish group here. And Shane's got a lot of experience with a lot of top horses now.
On Wednesday, he won the meter 40 national class and was 3rd in it. Then he went over to the meter 40 FEI class. He was 3rd in that with Main Road. And he just has, like you said, a lot of top horses and just a very consistent rider.
Okay, just like his buddy Richie, setting up for this line, working on the clear. Little touch there.
Almost identical. Gets a rub at B and skims C.
And the last,
oh
my goodness.
Rail.
That's too bad. Again, a very, very good round.
That was just an unfortunate deja vu right there.
The expression, it's not over till it's over, really is true for this course. It's holding your breath down that last line.
We've seen Georgina Bloomberg once. Here is her second mount, the 12-year-old Hessian Warmblood Kaleno 3. They were clear, finished 7th in the welcome yesterday.
Well, Georgina earlier had a beautiful round going. I think she had the last several jumps down. She was working a beautiful clear, and then I think BC in the number 12. So
the last 3 jumps.
She knows how to ride this course. Let's see if she can make any little adjustments here. And I think you have to be efficient on your time early in this course so you can take a little time at the end.
Yeah, you can't come rolling to that last fence.
Okay, she's set up real well on that line. Okay, very good and focused on those tall verticals.
So Georgina in the same position again with her second mount, clear coming to the last line. She'll try to fix things here.
Okay.
So far, so good.
There we go.
And
good
she's
for her.
clear. Well done. Georgina Bloomberg will move on to the jump off with Kaleno 3.
Staying in the United States of America now, Charlie Jacobs riding forward on the horse that finished second in the Grand Prix at Bridgehampton 12 days ago. It's the 9-year-old Ivy, Kalanta, Charlie Jacobs, USA.
Charlie Jacobs returns again. This time he is with the 9-year-old Dutch Warmblood gelding Kalanta. They had one rail 3 time for a score of 7 in the welcome yesterday. They also finished 8th. They had just 1 time fault that day, clear over the jumps in the World Cup qualifier at Bromont last month. And that was this horse's meter 60 debut.
Right, I was talking to Charlie earlier today, and he has high hopes for this horse. It's a bit on the young side, but he really likes this one a lot. And as I said, getting out here, very capable horse, but let's see how he handles. I know Charlie had, I think, 12 faults on his Cassinja horse earlier. Okay, a little bit overbalanced. We had to make a move there. Let's see if we can get this horse. He's coming in a bit deep here. Yeah, you could see he just wasn't happy with that. He just couldn't quite get the ride he wanted.
He just pulled that away until there was nothing left. And they'll pick up the rail on the second attempt.
I mean, you can see this horse has a lot of quality. A nice blood level. Yeah, I'd have to agree with Charlie. It seems to be a very promising horse.
Good preservation there by Charlie, but he really had essentially no connection there through that triple. Couldn't do much there. So it'll be 16 jumping faults there with the refusal included. They'll also pick up some on the time as well, 4 time faults, and they'll finish with a score of 20.
Well, that's part of the growing pain process. But again, I think, you look to the next day. Seems to be a nice horse. As you say, the hills and the nuance of this horse got him today.
Well, Lubov Kochetova is already guaranteed a spot in the jump-off. She's going to try to go for a second jump-off spot with Uris 2, the 11-year-old Oldenburg gelding. They had a great round in the welcome yesterday, just one time fault.
You know, like we talked about, Katie, she has a great eye for a horse. You know, these horses are all athletic jumpers, and wow, really put a beautiful jump in on that first jump. Years ago, she used to have trouble with the time alloweds, and that seems to be something she's much more comfortable with now, working out of a little faster pace. Taking a little time there, but I think that's prudent to get set up to that combination.
They come down hard there on the back rail of that Hermes Oxer, and that'll put them on 4 early on here.
Right, just, you know, taking the horse back to fit in that 4 stride. She just lost a bit of her impulsion to get to the back bar, and, you know, had a hard hit on that. Working on the 4. Oh, she's got the 8 now. Wow, did that horse do handstands to get through that triple. Woo!
They will pick up a time fault as well, 72 and change, almost 73 seconds. 72 and 2 there for Lubov Kochetova and Uris 2. So that'll be a 9 fault score for this pair. Niall Nassar is going to join us next. The 25-year-old rides for Egypt, and he is with his reliable 12-year-old Hanoverian gelding, Lorden. They were clear in 8th in the welcome stake yesterday. This is a great pair to watch, and talk about a partnership. Niall's had this horse for 6 years. The horse actually missed nearly all of last year with a tendon injury, but Niall took his time, brought him back, and they won the World Cup qualifier in February at Thermal. Also previous winners of the Socrates Million. They went to World Cup finals back in 2014. Not short on experience is this pair.
Yeah, he knows everything about this horse, the nuances, the relationship. Oh.
Niall graduated from Stanford a couple years ago. He wasn't sold at first on going professional in this industry, but he has his own string and his own business now. It's small, but he's done very well with the horses that he's had. Based out in California.
Now, he did one extra stride there. He did the 7. Boy, the horse powered up beautifully.
Ooh.
Lucky rub at C there.
Oh, and another heartbreaker
again
at the last fence for Niall Nassar and Lorden. Just within the time allowed as well, 70.17. That'll be good enough to move them on, though. We'll see them again on Sunday.
Horse jumped very well. I think he's ready for Sunday. And again, just unlucky. You know, that last jump is, you know, gumming downhill, that reverse Liverpool, it's taken its toll today.
You know, it's right in a bit of a shadow, too, with that Liverpool. So you have the reflection of the Liverpool in the glare of the sun and the shadow. I mean, there's a lot going on
Yeah,
there.
and also jumping into that shrubbery bushes there in the back. It's again, that's no, you know, mistake that jump is where it is. Alan Wade is very clever in a nice way, just keeps everybody a little bit honest.
So we have Katie Dinan joining us now, another young rider, just 23 years old. She's on the 11-year-old Irish sport horse gelding, Dougie Douglas. And if you were looking for a horse that excelled on grass venues, the first horse you would go to would be this one.
Well, Katie's developed a nice partnership with this horse. And, you know, for 23 years old, I forgot she's as young as she is. She's been around a while now. She's had some very wonderful results with that fantastic chestnut Nougat de Vallon, and she works very hard at the sport. And as I say, this is her, I would say, her number one horse. And they, as you said, they love the grass.
Yes, this horse won the Grand Prix on the Derby field in Wellington over the winter, third in the World Cup qualifier at Live Oak on the grass in February, and third at this venue at the Old Salem Farm Spring Shows in May.
Just got to settle it back. Well done.
Well done.
Just tight on the time. Ouch. Didn't make it.
Oh, gosh. Beautifully ridden, clear over the jumps, but they are 0.6 of a second over the time allowed. 71.61 will leave them with one time fault, but that will set them up very well for Sunday, and they will very safely move on.
That was a very handy round. Horse jump, super comfortable. And as you said, a very nice setup. She's certainly not going to have to run him in the jump off, so she'll have a little extra in the tank for Sunday. You know, you have to pick a positive, and I think, you know, you got to say the horse jumped well, Katie rode well, and now you're ready for the big dance on Sunday.
With the way this course has gone for some riders, there are a lot of positives there in that round. So Catherine Tyree will join us next. She is on the 12-year-old Belgian warm-blood gelding Enjoy Louis, owned by Mary Tyree. This pair was just second behind Jessica Springsteen and Sinar VA in the Socrates 1 Million Grand Prix.
Catherine for sure had a stellar performance. Just really, this horse and her gel beautifully together. Missy Clark, John Brennan done a fabulous job. And again, this is another bright young star for America, you know. And this is, again, exciting to see all these great young kids getting this experience. And not only experience, but competitive.
And Kat is tough. This girl has really impressed me this summer. She rode this horse at the Hampton Classic in the Grand Prix qualifier, almost fell off at the water jump, wanted nothing to do with it. They came back the very next day, and they were third in the Longines Cup, then were second in the Socrates Million. I mean, that is just amnesia, forgetting about it, moving on, and just excelling.
You can see she's riding with a lot of confidence. A lot of confidence. That's what this sport is all about, you know? You got to believe in yourself and have that inner confidence. A little strong there. Magnificently ridden.
Oh!
Behind.
I mean, wow. Yet again, a heartbreaker at the last. Catherine Tyree and Joy Louis will finish on a score of 4.
Back to Ireland, and it is Connor Swale joins us next on the 10-year-old mare by Kasal Sita, number 381.
So Connor Swale will take his turn at this track. He is with the 10-year-old Holsteiner mare Sita, owned by Susan and Ariel Grange. They had 3 time faults in the meter 40 on Wednesday. A nice, easy go-round for this pair, and they will have a crack at it now. Lots of winning for this pair this summer. The FEI Welcome and the FEI Jumper Classic at the Caledon Equestrian Park in Ontario. Then won the meter 45 jump-off class at CSI 4-Star Langley and the meter 50 Erwin-Heimer Group Cup at Spruce Meadows.
Well, it's kind of a who's of show jumping. Connor, again, extremely talented. Got super owners with Sue Grange. And, as I say, very, very experienced, talented rider. Really jumping well behind there, just floating over these jumps. Okay. Early on, it seems to be that he's carrying enough pace to seeing that time allowed, because that has been just enough of an issue today, just to push these people along.
This mare has just a great spring to her jump and an extra effort with a nice kick out.
He's got to just get to this. Oh, he's doing the 7 strides, losing a lot of impulsion there. Got away with it.
Wow, what an effort. And they're clear.
Clear round.
69.64 is their time. Connor Swale will join the jump off with Sita. They are clear. They carried the pace early, and then they could take their time. They chose to do the ad. It got a little hairy through the triple, but they worked it out, and a very nice clear round that'll move them on.
And you point out that's the art of top level, sort of making it work when it's not right. The ability to finagle it, work it. And Connor, we saw that with Laura Kraut earlier as well, with her young horse. She, we call that kind of riding by the seat of your pants, and that's an innate quality. And Connor really delivered he ad-libbed a 7, was able to show enough athleticism to get out over B and bring it home. Nice clear round.
That makes it 9 for the jump off as Hector Florentino takes the ring with the 11-year-old Dutch warm-blood gelding Allure G. This pair 1 rail and 1 time fault for a score of 5 in yesterday's Welcome Stake. This was Florentino's partner in the Pan American Games last year.
He's on a cross canter here, which is not an easy ride. He's getting in real deep. Okay, somehow we finagled that. That was...
Unfortunately, they'll take the front rail down of the Hermes Oxer.
Okay, got to bring it home now. He's on the 4 faults. Tie is out, a little disheveled. He's getting in close here. Nah. Might have been just enough to give him a time fault, that little extra pull to the last.
They'll finish on a score of 9, 2 jumping, 8 jumping rather, 2 rails, and a time fault for a score of 9.
But I tell you, we have the best seat in the house right by this triple. We're really getting a bird's eye view of this combination. Very difficult today.
Theodore Boris returns now, and he is on the 8-year-old Swedish warm-blood gelding Hipstar. They had just 1 time fault in yesterday's Welcome. Oh, we're going to have a change in the order. Allison Robitaille is going to move up with Ace, and we will see this 11-year-old Dutch warm-blood gelding jump now, owned by Bertram and Diana Firestone. Like Hipstar and Teddy Boris, who we were scheduled to see, they had just 1 time fault in yesterday's Welcome, a very solid round over the jumps. They were 6th in the World Cup qualifier at Bromont this summer.
Had a chance to talk with Allison, and she took some time off and had some children, is really dedicated to the family, and now she's kind of got her eye back on the big game. And Allison had such tremendous success at the national and international level for a number of years, and she's a real fighter, a scrapper, a super rider. Again, it's nice to see her out here.
You can tell she was fighting pretty well down that second line, making things work out. Unfortunately, she does pull a rail down that line by our VIP tent.
Getting up a little close.
Too close.
Yeah. And then she had to make her adjustment at the last minute. You could see the horse just threw its head up there a little bit. Yeah, a little bit dragging her in, but should be all right.
So tough because you really have to get your horse on the hind end there and set him up for that triple, but then you need to have enough to make it through. They do have to carry you through it. Very technical. They'll come home on a score of 8.
Moving on now to Ali Wolf. We saw her yesterday finish top 20 and pick up some money with this horse. It is the 11-year-old gelding by Casal.
Ali Wolf returns now with her second ride. Again, can only ride a maximum of 2 horses in this class. So her second mount is the 11-year-old Holsteiner gelding, Casal, owned by Blacklick Bend Farm rather. They were clear yesterday in the welcome, finished 19th. Also part of the winning U.S. team at the Nations Cup in Jalapa last year. They were the only double clear pair for that team.
So, okay, I'm assuming the Theodore Boris was a scratch on that hip star.
I'm going to say did not come in.
Yeah,
not coming in now.
Unless there was a problem in the paddock. But. Allie had 8 faults on her first horse. Starting out nice and bold, seems to have a nice positive ride going here. Little big in. You know, that cost her. You know, you could see she had to make a little strong ride at the A element. And for every action, there's a reaction. And that's a bit surprising. But I gather she's qualified on the other horse. And maybe we'll leave this horse for tomorrow's big class.
So an early rail here on course. Ali Wolf going to take it in with Casal today. We'll have another retirement here.
And we've got a few more to see as well. 16 left here.
I'm with you, Mark. She's. I'm guessing we're just going to see that.
Right, I would think so. You know, what's so fantastic about a horse show like this, the American Gold Cup, you know, it's a big show with big money throughout the week. And, you know, that shows horsemanship. You know, she's going to, you know, look for tomorrow. That's her, you know, top horse, Casal. I think, you know, she'll want to put her eye on that purse tomorrow.
Absolutely. And again, you have to declare your World Cup horse before you come in the class. So you don't have the choice of saying, oh, which one was better today that I'd like to ride. She had to ride that horse first. She's qualified. So let's focus on the other class tomorrow with Casal. So we'll see Kian White now. He's on the 11-year-old Zangerscheid gelding for Freedom Z, owned by Angelstone Partners. They had 3 rails in the meter 40 speed on Wednesday, but they were 3rd in the 3-star Grand Prix at Angelstone last month, also 7th in the World Cup qualifier at Bromont in July.
Kian had 4 faults on his first mount earlier. You know, Kian did a lot of training with Olympic champion Eric Lamaze, and he's no stranger to high-level competition. He's been around the block a few times. He knows what he's doing. He's got a good feel, very relaxed rider, very soft rider. This horse is jumping again very nicely, very easily.
And they're clear coming to this final line.
Little touch there, might be just enough to get him home. Little touch on C. Yes, yes.
They are clear. Just within the time allowed as well. But Kian White and for Freedom Z will join the jump up. And then there were 10.
You know, Kian's had a heck of a day. A 4-fall round and a clear. That's some good riding, a good show jumping for his string today.
He absolutely learned everything he could from that first go-round, and he improved upon his mistakes there with his second mount.
In Ireland, it's the 9-year-old mare, Tiger Lily, Jessica Springsteen for the USA.
So Jessica Springsteen will return on her second mount now. This is the speedy Tiger Lily, a 9-year-old Oldenburg mare owned going for time that day. Just a nice schooling round. They won the 2-star Grand Prix at Valkenswaard in May, and most recently were runners-up in the meter 50 and Galicia Stakes at the Dublin Horse Show.
Well, knowing how competitive Jessie is, the first horse, or top horse, had 2 down. I'm sure she's thinking, I want to get back in this, so she's here to play. And this is a super competitive horse, carrying a bit of pace here. Whoa. Now she's got to settle it down a little bit as we're coming down the hill. Yep. Whoa. A lot of energy in this round, huh?
Yeah, between this mare and Devendi S, they are great speed horses and really, really exciting to watch. Definitely a completely different ride. Really has to change gears, Jessie does, when getting off Sinar and getting on this one.
There, I think she could have just fought a little bit more at takeoff. This horse was just pulling her down there a little bit. Whoa.
Like again here. And just has too much there, not seeing the distance that she wanted, and Jessie elects to circle before the final Longines Liverpool. This mare just a bit too eager today. No problem on the second attempt. 12 jumping 3 times.
In the mouth. She's trying to school it there a little bit. She's just pulling a bit strong.
Representing the U.S. out of Charlotte, North Carolina, the High Hopes Farm. She is on entry number 212, Hitchcock. 9-year-old gelding by Canturo.
The 25-year-old Elise Oken is joining us now with the 9-year-old Belgian warm-blood gelding Hitchcock, VD Brocante. This pair prepped for this class on Wednesday in the meter 40 speed. They were clear over the jumps, just one time fault. They spent their summer in Tryon, Lexington, and Traverse City. 8th in the 4-star Grand Prix at Tryon in July.
Again, that combination just got a little bit on the forehand, and I thought maybe she was leaning on the neck there a little bit and just rolled that vertical in front. Got to fight a little bit.
They're looking like the horse is just a little bit strong for her, not getting him quite back enough as she'd like. She really fights there for it, and it works out much better.
That's some good horseback riding right there. I mean, as a youngster, that's too bad on the last one, but she tried to make that work out. It's too bad.
Just has to preserve the verticals a little bit better, but that was a really strong ride overall.
Total quick time of 66.7.
Well, he goes number 4 in the world now. McLean Ward steps forward. A fairly new ride for him, but one that's already proving to be very successful. Winner of the Grand Prix North.
So Lacey Oken and Hitchcock leave the ring with 16 faults. Enter the ring McLean Ward and Tina La Boheme, this 9-year-old self-run same mare owned by McLean and Artie Hawkins. They had a lovely round in the meter 40 on Wednesday. 2-time faults, clear over the jumps. Already numerous wins for this pair. And really, she just started things out right here at Old Salem in the spring.
This is a horse that I think you don't know, where it's going to end up. It has just answered every question so far that McLean has asked it. And the biggest quality, this horse knows how to win. Of course, the rider knows how to win. But this horse, again, he has a lot of confidence in this horse. It's having to step up a little bit as a result of the Rothschild horse needing a little time off. But as I say, it's a hell of a horse.
3 wins at Devon, a win at Saugerties before Ward went to Rio. Of course, breakout win here at Old Salem Farm in the Empire State Grand Prix. They won the Boar's Head Open Jumper Challenge opening day at the Hampton Classic. Not really much more you could ask for early on from this 9-year-old.
And again, McLean, has a good feel of the speed of this course. He's well within the time. Oh, jumped that big vertical beautifully. He's got to keep her focused, as I say. He's got a little with that jump by the triple by the water.
Little encouragement there. Works out well.
Masterfully ridden.
Final fence, and it's come down for
Yet again, a heartbreaker.
Too bad.
That was really
Horse
a lovely
jumped beautifully,
round.
beautifully.
Yeah.
That's too bad. Knowing McLean, he's going to be a little disappointed, but that horse jumped magnificent.
They kind of jumped it on an angle.
Slightly
and
right to left. Look,
Yeah.
I agree. Maybe I'm sure that was calculated.
Oh,
Nothing
yeah.
but this fella's left a chance.
Shortly, New Zealand returning on this second round, the 12-year-old.
So McLean Ward and Tina LaBoheme will have to settle for 4 faults with the final rail down. We've seen it happen so many times today. And now Sean Wardley's going to return again, this time with the 12-year-old Westphalian gelding Barnetta, owned by the Sky Group. They too prepped for this class in the meter 40 speed on Wednesday. They had 1 rail for a 4-fault total.
Don't forget to join us at the conclusion of the Friday Gold Cup qualifier for the annual auxiliary party located on the overlook of the terrace. A live band, complimentary beer, wine, and barbecue will serve. We'll see you there.
Horse took a little look at that. He had to ride up to it a bit. Sharon has a good feel for this course. He had a unlucky 4 on that Casper horse, so front rail of 5A.
A little bit hairy there.
And looking to retire.
They'll pull out before the Hermes Oxer. Pats for Barnetta. Barnetta is entered for the meter 50 class tomorrow. That is where they will set their sights.
Within the rounds. We'll continue on no further.
We have 1 of those withdrawing, so 9 progressing against the clock. And just looking up towards the archway, we can see Vanessa Mannix making her way forward into the Grand Prix ring here in the American Gold Cup. Vanessa returning with this one. It is her second rise. The 12-year-old stallion, Brian Cassini, White Cassini, Vanessa Mannix for Canada.
Vanessa Mannix is returning. The 12-year-old Holsteiner stallion, White Cassini, is her second mount of the day. This pair jumped in the Nations Cup. Actually, this horse jumped in the Nations Cup with Jamie Kermond of Australia last year. It was also ridden for a time by Nick Delajoyo and Connor Swale before Vanessa took over as the primary rider. This pair, they were 4th in the meter 55 Scotiabank Cup at Spruce Meadows in June.
Yes, I remember this horse when Nick briefly showed it in Florida. It had a lot of scope, a very easy jumper. And again, Vanessa's just, she's got 2 fantastic mounts and just gaining experience. Now she had a early rail, front rail of fence 3.
And she's going to need to pick up the pace a little bit.
And there's that B element. Again, it's just a very difficult combination today. Both of these double and triple combination are extremely, difficult to jump today with the focus of the horse and the balance.
That was well ridden.
Yeah, beautiful.
There's really no breather here, though, on this course. They'll take the B element down once again in the combination. They'll also pick up a time fault, a little bit under paced there. 13 will be the score for Vanessa Mannix and Quite Cassini. 12 jumping, 1 time for a total of 13.
Moving to Abigail McCardle on the track next. The entry
Looks like they passed over Lauren Tisbo on the original order. Now we're with Abigail McCardle.
Looks like Lauren will not be returning with her second mount, Entre Nous. Abigail McCardle is going to step up with Adamo, the 11-year-old Dutch warm blood gelding owned by Plain Bay Sales. They were clear in 7th in the meter 40 speed on Wednesday.
Abigail's quite a tenacious competitor. She's training with Katie and Henri Prudent, and Katie really develops a rider, there's no question. And this young lady has some very nice wins under her belt.
Only have to look at Reed Kessler to know how well that Katie Prudent develops riders.
And Allison Firestone. She took
Yes.
Allison at a very young age to the World Equestrian Games in the top level. And she's carrying a beautiful pace. She's well within the time at this juncture. Ah, too bad.
That's a little unlucky.
This horse is wearing a little netting over the nostrils, which really would be for allergies. She's got to kick a little here. Ah, beautiful ride on her part. And then it cost her at C. She had to override B. As a result, pushed her right into C.
So that's going to leave them on a score of 8.
And again, she's ranking 26 at this point, so that'll comfortably keep her in the game for the Gold Cup.
8 remain in this Grand Prix qualifier as Shane Sweetnam comes into the ring with his second mount of the day. He was already on Chaki Z. Now we'll see him on Cobalt. This is a 10-year-old Swedish warm-blood gelding owned by the Blue Buckle Group, winners of the $130,000 Ariat Grand Prix at Tryon in June. They had 4 jumping, 1 tying for a score of 5 in Wednesday's meter 40.
Yeah, I notice now that the class has progressed. More riders are getting over to that last jump. You know, it's now starting to get that attention. As Shane had the last jump down on his first horse for a 4-fall round. So he knows what it takes to get around this course. Let's see if he can bring this one home.
This horse here, Cobalt, is by a horse named Cyclone, and this is a horse that Shane also campaigns, a winning machine in the speed classes, one of my absolute favorite horses to watch. And Shane had the opportunity to get this horse and said that, you know, he really does remind him in many ways of Cyclone.
Gotta set him up, set him up. Beautiful. Little rub there. Bellied that one.
Yep, coming down hard on the back rail.
That pole's taking a beating today.
And
On that
again,
last
the
jump.
last jump will come down. That'll be a score of 8 for this pair.
Complete their round in 69.72.
Moving from Ireland to Mexico, welcoming Eugenio Garza and his mount Mariano, the 50-year-old gelding by Jet Set D.
Eugenio Garza Perez joins us next. He is with the 15-year-old Belgian warm-blood gelding Bariano, only 5 years younger than Eugenio himself. He's just 20 years old, representing Mexico today. Eugenio actually at one point showed this horse in the children's jumpers when he got him back in 2014.
Nothing like moving up with an old partner.
And they know each other front to back. They went on to win the junior individual gold at the 2013 North American Junior and Young Rider Championships before stepping up again to the Grand Prix level. Unfortunately, though, they'll pick up an early rail here as we see the Just World vertical come down for only about the third time today.
Yeah. There's a lot of course left. Let's have them keep it together. Watch out at B. Oh, got a lucky touch there.
Skimmed it. Just glided over that.
You know, that combination, that A, B over there, you just got to have to let it happen. You start pushing and it just gets so too tight. Oh, he set that up very well. Okay, he's going to have to ride a little bit. There we go. Beautiful ride.
Got lucky there. That was quite a hop for the pole in the cups there. Unfortunately, luck will not help them out over the Longines vertical. They'll take that down too.
You know, I'd have to say that last jump is turning into nasty. Having watched all these top riders now, that last jump is, I think I'd categorize it as nasty.
There are bogey fences, and then there are just terrors. And that fence right there is a terror.
Again, a very good ride for Eugenio. Very good ride.
Adam Prudhomme joins us now. He is on the 10-year-old Hanoverian stallion Victorio 5, owned by Plain Bay Sales. They were clear to finish 9th in the meter 40 speed on Wednesday. They made their FEI debut just this summer in Traverse City after the stallion was imported in June, and they finished in the top 10 in each of the 2 Grand Prix they jumped there.
Little flat there. Woof. Okay. Adam is riding with passion. Okay, now he's got to tone it down a little bit coming down this hill. A little delicate ride here. Okay. Okay, he's very, very efficient on the time.
And unfortunately, riding
too bad.
past that oxer at the Longines and then having the rail at the ensuing vertical as well.
Okay. Just didn't have enough for that back rail. You know, if you start to hand ride them and pull them off of the A element, that back rail of B just stretches them enough.
That's going to leave them on a score of 16 with 6 remaining. So it looked like Samuel Parrott originally had Quick Du Potier entered as his second mount, but he's going to ride Couscous instead. This is a horse that he rode yesterday in the Welcome. Going to look to improve upon his finish there with that horse as Samuel Parrott returns with his second mount of the day. They'll have an early rail.
And another rail at 5A. 6. He wowed too much.
Rails falling at the B and C elements of the triple, but the Longines vertical stays up for the first time in a while, and but they will finish with a score of 16.
And they'll finish on 16.
Tracy Fenny comes forward next. Now, last time I saw her, we were in Omaha doing a test event for next year's World Cup Finals. But there, the 3-star, she had a great win with this horse. It is MTM.
Tracy Fenny joins us now, a native of Flower Mound, Texas. She is on MTM Farms, MTM Rev du Paradise, an 11-year-old Cell Francais gelding. This is actually a former mount of Emmanuel Andrade, who we saw ride earlier, but Tracy got the horse last spring. They were third in the $50,000 Florida League Grand Prix in Texas in their very first show together. This year, they went to Omaha, and they won the 3-star Mutual of Omaha Speed Derby, also fourth in the Grand Prix there.
Well, Tracy's one of the top professionals. She can ride anything. There's that number 2 fence down again. With, that didn't have a lot of action in the first half of the class. We've seen that come down now a few times now.
You're right, Tracy can ride anything. I recently watched her in Saugerties in a Hunter Prix.
Yes.
And she came in, the top 25 qualified for the 3rd round. She was in 25th, and she returned first in the order. Her score held all the way. She ended up finishing 3rd. It was awesome.
Now she picked up 2 rails on that outside line. She's now working on 12. She's really fighting with the horse there.
Similarly to Dorothy Douglas, it's been a while since this pair has competed in FEI competition, but they do have 7 National Standard Grand Prix wins to their credit this year.
Okay, she finishes with 12 within the time.
That puts them into 48th. They will not qualify for Sunday's final. 12 faults for MTM Rev du Paradise and Tracy Fenny. So now we're going to see Adrienne Sternlich. She is aboard the 11-year-old Oldenburg gelding Tulago, owned by Starlight Farms, LLC. They schooled for this class in the meter 40s on Wednesday. 2 time faults for the pair, clean over the jumps.
Starlight Farms, representing the U.S., number 443.
This pair jumped clear but had just 1 time fault in the Grand Prix qualifier at the Hampton Classic. Another effort like that will easily move them into Sunday's World Cup qualifier Grand Prix here at the American Gold Cup. And Adrienne is getting help from McLean Ward now and really building up her string. She has some nice caliber horses.
Yes, Adrienne has been trained with Linda Langmeyer, and now McLean Ward is doing some fine-tuning. And always good to have that little extra knowledge at the in-gate and analyzing the courses.
She recently bought a young horse, Crystalline, that she jumped yesterday and will jump tomorrow. Just an 8-year-old, but a really talented horse that's already put in clear rounds at the World Cup finals as a 7-year-old. So this is a horse that I think Adrienne is going to do really well with as well. They're taking their time with that one, but it looks like she has a nice one here as well. And they're clear.
And within the time. Very
She'll
nice.
join the jump off.
There's our 11th clear. Again, 10 of those 11 will be coming back for the jump off with 3 to go.
And what a jump off it's going to be.
Wonderful round. Wonderful.
This afternoon, a total of $86,000 to play
That
for.
puts us at 11 clear rounds today. 10 are going to return for the jump off as it stands. Someone has elected not to return to jump. We will let you know which pair that is when we return for our jump off, which is coming up soon. Just a few riders left here in this first round. And now we'll see Catherine Tyree with her second mount. This is the 10-year-old Dutch warm blood gelding Bokai, owned by Joseph Tyree. This one 8th in the Grand Prix qualifier and 3rd in the $10,000 Royalton Farms Open Jumper class at the Hampton Classic just a few weeks ago.
Little strong in, but the horse backed up pretty well there. That's a tough one there. A little strong in, and the horse just couldn't quite back up and set up to be. You know, it's a game of inches, not too deep in front. Getting in tight. Got to kick a little. Oh, the horse and rider did a magnificent job
Very
working
well
that
ridden
triple
to get
out.
through.
A little tight
And
to the
look at
last,
that,
but
the
gave the
Longines
last one.
vertical stays up.
Across the center, one of the fence as well, so 18 total there for
That'll be a total score of 8 for Catherine Tyree. That puts them into 30th as it stands.
Back on his second mount, the 10-year-old stallion by Colmaro. He's aboard Grafton, entry of Susan and Ariel Grange. Here's Connor Swell, Grafton representing Ireland.
Connor Swale put in a great ride on Cedar earlier. Now he returns in the 10-year-old self-run Say Stallion Grafton, also owned by Susan and Ariel Grange. 2 rails, 2 time faults in the meter 40 on Wednesday. This is a pair, though. They were part of the Winning Nations Cup team for Ireland at Langley in June. They also finished 4th in the 4-star Grand Prix there at that venue.
He's taking a peek at the Liverpool.
Probably a good idea.
Yep. You know, Connor sits in that nice position, having jumped the clear round. He's playing for the jump off on his other horse. So, you know, this one, I don't say it takes the pressure off, but I think he can ride with a little more confidence and just let it come to him.
Well done through that 5-stride line.
We're going to go 2 for 2.
But they'll come down on the back rail of the B element of our triple. And they'll take the Longines Liverpool down as well. That'll be a score of 8 for Connor Swale and Grafton.
Popular rails there, the B element and the last one. And now we're down to our last.
We go down to our final combination.
Our final rider in this opening round of competition here in the American Gold Cup Grand Prix Qualifier. We have Tiffany Cambria with Vavoom, the 10-year-old Dutch warm blood gelding owned by Amanda Hood. This pair for jumping one time in the meter 40 on Wednesday. They recently won the meter 40 open welcome at the Cavalier Classic in Virginia in July. They've been to Devon, Tryon, and Upperville this summer, where they were 12th in the 4-star Grand Prix there.
Wow, she got away with that. I thought she was a bit flat there, but
Yep.
she got away with it.
They'll take the front rail of the A element of that first double, get a hard rub on the back rail of the Hermes Oxer, but that one will stay up. Well ridden there.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll look to preserve just that one rail as we go through the final line.
Marsha's kind of get in there and stare a little bit at that. Ouch. The last three.
She comes into the final line with just one rail. She leaves it with 3 more. That's going to be a score of 16. That will keep her out of Sunday's competition. So we've seen 75 riders come through here in this opening round of competition here in our Grand Prix qualifier. What a class. It has been quite a test here. Here's how it stands. We have 11 clear rounds, but 10 have elected to return for our jump off. BZ Madden and Quister, Pablo Barrios and Antares, Lubov, Kochetova, Balou Dureventin, Jonathan McRae, Aristoteles, Connor Swale, Kian White, Adrian Sternlick, also among those pairs. And you see Katie Dinan just missing out there on that jump off with one time fall.
I believe the entry that's withdrawn is Lubov Kachetova's mount. She'll not be coming back for the jump. I just heard that announced.
So, Lubov Kochetova and Balou Dureventin, an excellent round here in the first round. They are going to save themselves for Sunday, and they will not return for this jump off. They would have been third in the order here for this jump off.
Howard and his team already underway making those adjustments, and we're going to see the following track for the jump off against the clock. We start over the Fidelity Officer. It's on the long sides. It's numbered as fence number 14. It is a new fence on track that we will see in the jump off. And we're heading to another new fence after that. So we land over 14, turn right as tight as you like, heading round towards the DE upright across the centre of the Grand Prix ring here at the American Gold Cup. As we land over the upright at 15, it's left-handed, again as fast as you like, pushing on as we come down towards the Hermes fence at fence number 6. That's the orange oxer on the short side. Left-handed from here, that brings them up towards the FEI Longines World Cup upright. And just under the tree as they land there, but they're turning left-handed towards the Longines oxer that sits right in the centre of the Grand Prix ring. 3 efforts left from here. It's right-handed, bringing them back up towards us, and it is the first 2 parts of what we saw as a combination in the first round. They come in over the yellow and white upright at fence 11A, one non-jumping stride through the middle, and then they come out over the oxer at 11B. From here, you want to gallop as fast as you possibly can as we push on to the Longines upright with the Liverpool water tray sitting underneath. That's fence number 12, and that's where they'll find the finish line. Time allowed set at 54 seconds. Best of luck, everybody. It is a total of 10 that will jump off against the clock.
Longines FEI World Cup Jumping North American League. 14 qualifying events across 3 countries in North America. Canada, USA, Mexico, from July 2016 to April 2017. 14 riders qualify to a global final to take place in Omaha. Tune in.
Jump crib close to Allen with the radio, or we close to 5 minutes, or should they jump longer? 5 minutes. Thank you.
We are about to get underway with our jump off here in the qualifier for Sunday's Grand Prix. We're going to see a total of 10 jump here. BZ Madden will go first with Quister, Pablo Barrios and Antares. Lubov Kochitova will not return. She was aboard Baloo de Reventon. Jonathan McCrea and Aristoteles will be next, followed by Peter Lutz and Robin de Pontal, Laura Kraut and her 9-year-old Kung Fu, the 17-year-old Lucy Delorier and Hester, Georgina Bloomberg and Kaleno will be our 8th to jump off. Then we'll also see Connor Swale and Sita, Kian White and For Freedom Z, and Adrian Sternlick. Our last clear round will be last in the jump off with Tulago. Again, 11 are posted here. Only 10 have elected to jump off. Lubov Kochitova is going to save her mount, Baloo de Reventon, for Sunday's competition. That's how it stands so far. Alan Wade has designed this course, and he has set a time allowed of 54 seconds for this jump off track. And we will get underway in just a few minutes here as they continue to build this jump off track here in this stunning grass Grand Prix arena here at the American Gold Cup at Old Salem Farm. Katie Stazak here will be back with you in just a moment to take you through this jump off. It is going to be an exciting one. So we'll take you through this jump off track here. 2 new fences to start us off here in the second round, 14 and 15. 14 is the green Fidelity Investments Oxer that you'll see here soon. Then over a vertical, the Douglas Elliman vertical at fence 15. Following that will be fences 6 and 7 that we've already seen here on course. That would be the Hermes Oxer, and then fence 7. The vertical, that will take us to 8, which is the Longines Oxer back on 11 AB. Our double here, that was once a triple that caused quite a few problems throughout this course. And our final fence will be the final fence of the first round. That is fence 12, the bogey Longines Liverpool that we've seen come down so many times today. So a challenging track ahead. Plenty of tight technical questions and gallop lanes with 10 riders competing. We are going to see the speed really go up another notch here. We're about to get underway with the jump off here in the Grand Prix qualifier for the American Gold Cup.
Hey, Alan, we're going to need a little powwow with 121.
Tony. Hey, what's up, boys? Fantastic.
Go walk. Something you just look at. You want to walk there.
go 5 minutes out for first horse.
So athletes have finished their walk. We saw a few fences just moved over a little bit. That gives them some fresh ground for this jump off because of that may change some of the ones they were looking at a little bit earlier. So they were given an opportunity just to have a quick round. That opportunity has been complete, and they're going to jump back on the horses and get ready. So let's take a quick look at the track that they're going to be faced with once again. So quick reminder, we're starting over fence number 14. That is the Fidelity officer on the long side. And from there, right-handed, right towards the Douglas Salem and upright. That's another new fence, number is 15. Landing here, left-handed, we're going to be pushing on a little bit, trying to make up some time on our approach. Right towards the United Gates and the Hermes officer at fence 6. That's the one with the orange rails. Left-handed from here, pushing up towards the FEI Longines World Cup Series upright to 7. And then right to another Longines fence. That's left-handed, straight across the centre of the Grand Prix ring here, the American Gold Cup to the Longines officer at 8. 3 efforts left from here. It's right-handed once again, coming up down in front of us, right towards the double. It is the upright coming in at 11A, the oxer coming out at 11B, one non-jumping strike through the middle, and then that final long gallop up towards fence number 12. $86,000 to play for here, and the best of luck to each and every one. Just a couple of minutes away.
Thank the Winter Show Stables for presenting our American Gold Cup qualifier and the support of the Triple family. As we'll be here looking for our first horse, about 3 minutes out now, and 54 will be that time allowed for the competition. As we watch our top 10 here that will return here, Dash for the Cash, trying to earn that winner's share of our $86,000 purse. We will send it out now. And when you sound the call, we are ready to roll with our jump off here for our American Gold Cup qualifier.
With that, we are underway with our jump off here in the qualifier for the American Gold Cup on Sunday, but this is still an $86,000 purse in its own right. Katie Stazak here alongside Mark Leone. BZ Madden is in the ring with a 12-year-old Self-Ransay gelding Quister, the first to navigate this track cleanly in the first round, and now she will take to this shortened jump off track designed by Alan Wade.
So we've got a couple of new fences in here for the jump off, and we saw the riders just briefly come out and take a look at the shortened course, and we have our Olympic champion BZ Madden starting off on Quester, and who better to start off a jump off than BZ?
Absolutely. Surely not the most advantageous position to be in a jump off to go first, but also it's a mental game, and she could set the tone, and it could be hard to catch. She certainly could do it if anyone could. So you see here, you do start with the two new fences before coming back on the Irma's. Oh!
Looks like she was maybe going to get a 7 there and just tried to chop in a short stride.
BZ makes a good save, but unfortunately just not getting the right distance she wanted there on the half stride, and Quister puts on the brakes a little bit to preserve himself over that fence.
You know, this is a horse that obviously has a big future ahead with her, and I think it, got to get to know it a little bit in these jump offs, and I think also the lighting's a bit tough. We've got the sun and some shadows here. I'm not making excuses for her, but as I say, they got to continue to develop their relationship.
BZ now going to take it a little steadier here. Gets through that, and we'll see the rest of this jump-off track following the Longines Oxer. We'll come back on the double, which was once a triple, and then to the final Longines Liverpool that was so difficult for horse and rider earlier on in our first round.
Just the refusal, of course, 6 seconds added into that time for the disturbance as well. So in the end, it is just before that for BZ Madden and Easton.
So they'll end up with a score of 4 here. All the jumps stay up, but an unfortunate refusal there at the Longines Oxer as we move into our second competitor here, and that will be Pablo Barrios of Venezuela with the 11-year-old Dutch warm blood gelding Antares, fresh off the Rio Olympic Games.
And as you alluded, Pablo's fast against the clock. He knows this horse well. I think he got a chance to watch BZ with the stridings, and I think obviously he'll make a little adjustment to that Longines Oxer there, but let's see what Pablo has in store for us.
Very well done there.
8 strides there. He stayed out a little bit here. Now let's see what he does from this vertical to the Oxer here.
Longines to Longines.
7. And then the 1 stride, and then to the reverse Liverpool. BZ did the 9. That front rail.
They'll pick up a rail.
5,
That'll put
6.
them on a score of 4
You see
as
Pablo
well.
left it out to the last and did 8 strides. So 4 faults in a faster time.
38.92 is the new objective here. He does pick up a score of 4, but that is going to put him ahead of BZ on her 4 because, of course, she's going to have a much slower time there recuperating from the refusal. So that's the new objective, 38.92 with a 4-fault score. As we mentioned, Lubov Kochetova has elected not to jump off today with Balou du Reventon, so they will finish in 11th place here. Jonathan McRae steps into the ring next with Aristoteles the 5th.
For sure, with so many in the jump off, you got to move. But I see with John, I think he's going to obviously move, but try to leave him up and leave this ring in first place. I don't know if he's going to leave it all on the table with so many after, but let's see.
There's a lot involved here, too, because you really don't want to leave too much, take too much out of the tank before Sunday.
Okay, shape the 8 strides there. And then he should line up the 7 strides here, unless he does the wide 8. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he made one extra. Again, moving where he can, but trying to be deliberate and clean where he can. Coming real tight there. What an adjustment there.
Just can't get across there. They will have a rail as well.
And now it's unfortunate, but you can't make up what you lose in the beginning. So
You make a choice, and unfortunately they lose the rail and sacrifice the time in the process of really trying to go clean. So that will put them in second, 4 and 42.13.
Still looking for that first double clear.
So here's Peter Lutz. He's going to give this track a try now with Robin Dupontal, this 11-year-old Self-Francais gelding.
Peter's opening up with a nice swing. Now, he's got a big stride. I'll be interested to see, again, what numbers he wants. Beasy was able to do 7 from the Douglas Element to the Hermes. John opted for the 8, so did Pablo. 1, 2. Okay, he made one extra and went a little wider.
9.
But again, we've yet to have a clear, so likely he'll follow with 8 strides here. 6, 7, 8 strides. Again, prompt, but certainly organized. He's got to sit quiet here.
And they're clear as we head to the Longines Liverpool, but it's no giveaway fence.
Okay.
They're clear.
Good clear round.
43.92 seconds is now the time to beat. We have our first double clear performer of the day.
So you really could see the difference. Pablo Barrios did 38.92, did a 7 stride to the Longines Oxford, did an 8 to the last one. So there's got to be some wiggle room for these riders. I'm sure Laura Kraut, with Nick by her side, knows where to shave it without risking it.
Sure, but this too is a younger horse for her, so she might not push the envelope too much. Hasn't had a whole lot of jump-off experience in these type of classes. But if anyone can do it, it's Laura, and I don't think she's going to be thinking too much about that.
You know, I think she can certainly take that time down without really risking it. And I think there's certainly some room there. There's a nice little angle on one.
Great jump.
There's the 8 wide.
Oh, she's going.
There's the 8. Again, she's ahead. No question. She's got to settle in. Phenomenal. Get to the back.
She is so good.
And still did the 9 to the last.
She is
And
clear.
she's
3 seconds off the time set by Peter Lutz and Robin Dupontal. Laura Kraut and the 9-year-old Kung Fu go into the lead. 40.93 seconds is the new time to beat.
Again, just great horsemanship. She knew where to take a shot, yet she did the 9 to the last fence with that young horse. Certainly gave him a new standard to shoot for.
Here comes the 17-year-old Lucy Delorier and Hester. You know they will be putting everything on the line here. They have nothing to save in the tank for Sunday. So let's see how they strategize this jump-off round here.
But we were talking, Katie, I saw Mario, her dad, and her walking the jump-off course, and this is her World Cup. She's not eligible to compete, so I think you're right. I think she's going to try to school these Olympians today. Let's see what Lucy can muster up. Already she's on a beautiful gallop. Here's the 7. She did 7 like Beasy did. Okay. It's a numbers game. Here she'll pop in, and if she can get the 7 here.
Already ahead of the pace.
Magnificent. Now, if she does the 8 home, she might have...
Easy.
Fight a little bit. Oh, yes.
They get a rub, but it stays up.
4, 5, 6. Fantastic.
Oh, and they're clear, and they shave
37.
3 seconds of their own. 37.25 seconds. Lucy Delorier and Hester go into the lead here in the Grand Prix qualifier for the American Gold Cup.
23 was the split where
She was able to really learn by watching those first several. I knew exactly what to do. Of course, the horse was magical at that A element of the combination. Lucy rode a dynamite round.
I mean, talk about...
That's going to be tough to beat. 37, there's very little room.
There was no plan B. Everything just worked out beautifully. I mean, that was slick.
I'm sure there's talk in the practice area about that right now.
I said to Lucy after she was second in the Grand Prix qualifier at the Hampton Classic, I said, these riders have got to be thrilled that you're not jumping tomorrow in the Grand Prix. And she laughed and she said, I don't think so, but I think she just legitimized that.
They know she's out there. There's no question about it. And how exciting. And Georgina's giving it a good go there. She's moving very well there.
Yes, Georgina's in the ring
now maybe
now
the 7
with
here.
Kaleno.
3, 4. There's the 7. It's a numbers game. Now she's got to run over, get this in 7. You know, Lucy pulled on the reins a little bit before the double. Okay, now again, she's got to just keep it smooth. Now she's... Whoa. 8 home. Yes.
And she does.
I thought she was a little faster, 1 to 2, and then Lucy, as I say, pulled on the reins before that A element of the double. Hell of a ride. Good for Georgina.
So Georgina Bloomberg moves into the lead. We've sped things up with every rider here so far. 36.53 becomes the new time to beat as Connor Swale enters the ring with Sita.
You know, now that the track is established, just doing it faster, but you know, you can only make it faster from 1 to 2 or back on this combination. There's very little wiggle room.
But this rider knows how to go fast.
No question. But now that they're going to be pushing full steam, the risk increases for that rail. You know, I mean, it just, the adrenaline's going, here he goes. Now he's doing the 8 here.
This mare may not have the stride of some of the other horses, but very quick across the ground, but behind the pace right now.
Yeah, and he just did the 8 there. Again, it's a fast type, but... And he's adding up here a little bit. Woo!
That'll slot them into third right now behind Georgina and Lucy with one rider remaining. Adrian Sternlich is our last to jump here with Tulago in this very exciting jump off here at the American Gold Cup.
Again, might have been his strategy. Move where he could, but not risk it. He added the strides where the others left it out and still got himself a great result. Right now sitting in third for Connor.
Oh, we have Kian White. I skipped over one. Kian White is going to join us next. He will be jumping with... For Freedom Z here comes up to the first jump. And unfortunately,
Early pole.
we'll have that first rail down. So it will come down to Adrian Sternlick and Tulago. Kean White picking up an early rail here.
I'd say this horse jumped very well today.
Yes.
Yeah, just one of the finishes on the board. 29 out of for Freedom Set. And goes into 7 at the moment.
So Kean White and 4 Freedom Z. 41.29 seconds is the time with 1 rail.
Well, what experience Adrian lacks, this horse has, as it's been ridden by top Swiss rider Pia Switzer and Daniel Deuser from Germany. So, you know, I think we'll see what strategy her and Lyndon McLean have made for Adrian, but I'm sure they're going to give it a good go. They can do the numbers. Okay, she's starting with a real good gallop here.
That was done well on the slice.
6, 8. She's got to really move it here. She's got to look to the left again. 7. Here we go. Yes, she's got the 7. There it is. Come on with it, sweetie. You got to go for it. There she goes. Sit up. 8 strides coming home. Very, very good round.
They'll finish in 37.73. That will move them into 3rd place. Georgina Bloomberg is going to take the win here with Kaleno. Lucy Delory and Hester, though, great. Another runner-up finish for them in a major Grand Prix qualifier. So we'll have our top 3 joining us in just a minute for our winners presentation. I want to thank Mark Leone for joining me today for this $86,000 American Gold Cup qualifier here at Old Salem Farm in North Salem, New York. What a finish to this fantastic class. An exciting jump off here over quite a track set by Alan Wade. Georgina Bloomberg and Kaleno take home the win today with a time of 36.53 seconds. Lucy Delory and Hester are runners-up, 37.25 seconds. You'll see here up on our screen graphics, we have the results here through 16th place, and we'll continue on. Remember that the top 40 advance to the Grand Prix, a World Cup qualifier, the Longines World Cup of Show Jumping. A meter 50 classic will take place tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. Katie Stazak here. Thank you for watching. We are about to get underway with our winners presentation here at the American Gold Cup.
We're grateful to the Legislative Skills for their presentation of our American Gold Cup qualifier, and we welcome to the ring to make our presentation Kate Triple, along with Connor and Campbell, join her for the presentation escorted by Mr. Amercian to our American Gold Cup qualifier presentation area. At this time, we welcome in our top 6 for the American Gold Cup qualifier today.
And here we come as we sing many congratulations to the honor winner for the United States of America, Georgina Bloomberg, and the letter taking the American Gold Cup qualifier successes by the Winston Showsters.
Our top 6 finishers are entering the ring now. Georgina Bloomberg is the winner of today's Grand Prix qualifier here at the American Gold Cup at North Salem Farm. A great win for Georgina and Kaleno. A huge congratulations to this pair.
Okay, guys, can you go one side, please? One at a time. Come up, nice catch up, please. Thank you. Hey, you know, go check your Lucy, second place.
Georgina lining up for her winner's photo now with Kaleno.
Number 2, number 3.
This, of course, an $86,000 purse up for grabs, and Georgina will look to repeat this performance in Sunday's American Gold Cup World Cup qualifier here. Second place is going to go to Lucy Delorier and Hester. Third place, Adrian Sternlick and her horse Tulago. Fourth place, Sita and Connor Swale. Fifth place to Laura Kraut and Kung Fu. So there you have it. The American National Anthem plays for Georgina Bloomberg and Kaleno. Georgina Bloomberg and Kaleno, the winners of today's Grand Prix qualifier for the American Gold Cup. Again, second place goes to Lucy Delorier and Hester. Third place to Adrian Sternlick and Tulago. Fourth place, Connor Swale and Sita. Fifth place, Kung Fu, ridden by Laura Kraut. And sixth place went to Peter Lutz and Robin Dupontal. Congratulations to these riders. What a fantastic day of show jumping here at the American Gold Cup. Thank you so much for watching today. Katie Stazak here. I will see you right back here tomorrow afternoon for the Meter 50 Classic here at the American Gold Cup.
We continue with USA, who is so well represented here this afternoon, also taking the flag. Adrian Steinmetz to Lugo.
And now we'll move to our fourth place finisher from Ireland, the Susan and Ariel Grange entry, Connor Swale and Sita finishing up in fourth.
Back to the USA, we head down to fifth, though it is Lauren Rice on third.
And the next leader is we acknowledge our sixth place finisher was Peter Lutz. And the entry of Catherine Gallagher and Michael Miller, Robin Monthwall will finish up in sixth place. Well, those are your top six, and it is time for the victory lap, our round of honor, as we send off Georgina Morberg of the United States and Colino, taking the top position here in our Gold Cup qualifier, presented by Winter Show Stables. Esther Lucy Morgan, following second, Adrian Sterling of Toronto, Connor Swale and Sita. Robin DePonwall, the 7-1 went to Pablo Vargas of Venezuela in our guitars, who were previously Ethan Weiss of Canada, Donald and Jonathan McGraves of the United States, 9th place of the ETI is 10, and Louis Leviton and Rudolph Kachitova round out the top 11. Greg Douglas and David Duncan in the 12th spot. One more time, it's a solo round of honor for our winner, Georgina Morberg, taking the top honors here in our American Gold Cup qualifier, presented by Winter Show Stables. Our riders at the FEI horse suspension were evaluated by the ground jury, and Equus Boutique is the proud sponsor of the Best Presented Horse Award in the American Gold Cup FEI horse suspension. And after the evaluation by the ground jury earlier this week, our winning combination was David Raposa and SNL Sage, named the Best Presented Horse. And on behalf of Equus Boutique, Lauren Kenny joined us to make our presentation to David Raposa and SNL Sage. Again, our best presented horse at our FEI horse suspension, receiving the Equus Boutique Best Presented Award, selected by the ground jury in the FEI job. And again, presenting on behalf of the Equus Boutique is Lauren Kenny.
Well, then we move on to the second very special awards here this afternoon. Before that, we welcome forward Gideon Helen, actually off from Horse and Style magazine. And this is for our Style Awards, and we say huge congratulations to the athlete who finished top 3 and in third place in this afternoon's competition. It is Adrian Steinmetz who takes the Horse and Style of Riding Award winner for the East. Horse and Style is thrilled to recognise standout classic horsemanship and riding style from coast to coast by presenting the Horse and Style Riding Award East at the 2016 American Gold Cup. Adrian Steinmetz exemplifies what it means to be respectful, dignified, courteous, and workmanlike outside the ring, while displaying impeccable American style of equitation in the ring. Once again, huge congratulations to the ever stylish Adrian Steinmetz, who takes the special award on behalf of Horse and Style magazine. Wow, two fantastic international scoring. Still to look forward to his at the American Gold Cup throughout the weekend as he joins us here at Old Salem Farm. But from all the team in the Grand Prix, do have a safe drive home if you're leaving us, and a very, very good evening.